Hey everybody, welcome to the first ever Nerds Domain podcast. Today is January 4th, 2013. Today we're going to go over a little bit of everything. But first, let's talk about who all's here.
Hi, I'm Jestin.
Yeah, that's you.
Yeah, that'd be me. John here. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Shirley.
And I'm Matt. We're all writers and editors for the Nerds Domain website, www.nerdsdom.com.
Want to spell that?
NERDSDOM.com. Nerdsdom.com. So, everything we talk about today is kind of tied into our website. We're going to go over our categories that we go over each week. We usually have a review up each weekday. And then on the weekends we do a little something special. Depends on what we're looking at. So, Mondays we do books. Tuesdays are podcasts. Wednesdays are games. Thursdays are apps. Fridays are movies. And again, Saturdays are kind of a little bit of anything. Just depends on what we want to write about. That doesn't fall into those other categories. So, we're going to start today off with books. We're going to talk about last year. We're going to talk about what's coming out this year, what we're excited about, what we experienced, kind of a little bit of everything. So, since I was lucky enough to get this book for free, because Wizards of the Coast is amazing, I read Sharon's Claw.
Suck up.
I read Sharon's Claw from R.A. Salvatore. Salvatore is one of my favorite authors. He used to be number one. He's kind of slinking down, but we'll get to that in a minute. Sharon's Claw is the third book in, I believe, the Neverwinter saga. I don't remember quite what it is. But it's following his character Dritz and Intriri and their adventures in the Forgotten Realms. I really enjoyed it. I don't know if any of the rest of you guys read it.
Nope.
Or have read anything from Salvatore ever.
No.
It's been nothing with Dritz in it.
Okay.
Was this the book that tied in with the reboot for 4th Ed, 200
No.
Years in the Future?
That actually was the series before this. That isn't on here, although I did review it for the website. There was a transition trilogy before this. The Orc King, Pirate King, and Ghost King. And those kind of made a jump in time that made all of the changes between 3rd edition and 4th edition kind of make sense. Sense.
Right.
With big old air quotes.
Was it a 200-year jump?
It was 100. It was
100 years?
exactly 100 years.
100 years. Okay.
But, there was another plane. So there's Toril, where all of Forgotten Realms takes... And then there's a beer. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but it's fantasy. So
There's a beer?
A-B-E-I-R.
Oh,
Not a beer. A beer.
Yeah.
And then they kind of smooshed. So parts of a beer fell onto Forgotten Realms. And the whole continent of Mazteca from old 2nd edition stuff is gone. And they've replaced it with what they called New Abir. It's kind of weird and interesting, but...
You know, I bet if I read that Forgotten Realms guidebook that you left at my house, I would know what's going on.
That'd be helpful. and Ghost King kind of follows the fall of the Magic Weave. So it kind of explains everything in those 3 books.
So the Weave's not around anymore?
Sort of. They don't explain it in those books, but then in that Forgotten Realms book that I left at your house, it's kind of all there. So, yeah, those are really... Sharon's Claw was good. It was Gauntled Grimm, Neverwinter, and then Sharon's Claw. And there's a 4th book. We'll talk about it here in a minute. These 3 books have been really good. All right, so let's go ahead and get on to the next subject.
That would be me.
Yeah, that's you.
Okay.
That's you, Justin.
Yes. A Dance with Dragons is one of the best books I read last year. It's the 5th book in the Song of Ice and Fire, written by...
No spoilers, please. No spoilers.
I'll try not to. Written by George R.R. Martin.
Yay.
The man with the giant beard that likes to kill people in his books? Yeah.
And writes real slowly.
And likes food.
Yes.
A lot. Go ahead.
Yes.
Was it out in Brown?
Now, saying it was the best book I read last year, it is the worst book in the series.
Really?
It is.
Why?
Because it focuses on a character I don't like.
Which one?
Daenerys.
Why not? She has dragons.
No,
She does.
Daenerys is
Sorry.
badass.
Sorry.
Daenerys isn't forwarding the plot at all. The story is in
She doesn't-
Westeros.
they haven't-
She is in
They haven't.
whatever
she,
they
so
call
she
that
hasn't
country over there.
invaded yet. She doesn't have her
Wait,
death.
okay, no.
Okay, hold on.
No
we're
spoil-
we're 5 books in, and she's still on the stupid other island.
No spoilers. Let's talk about
No.
something else.
It's not. The,
I'm just saying, like, okay.
No, I agree. 5 books in.
Let's just say this: 3 of us, John, Shirley, and I, have not read the books. We've
Trying
watched
to.
the TV series. Some of us have made it through the first series. Well, John hasn't made past the first series. Shirley and I are
Nobody will
about.
lend it to me.
We can't lend you something we're still watching.
Well, I suppose
So
that's
Shirley
true.
and I are about halfway through the second season. So we're 5 books in.
Yes.
How many number of years? Like 4? They
No.
probably killed the entire rest of the freaking Stark line, and she's still got dragons on another island.
Yes.
Well,
Let's just say her story is not forwarding the plot.
okay.
Things
That's a
are
problem.
coming together, but her story is still not forwarding the plot. As a matter of fact,
Is winter still
she's-
coming?
She's slowing down other people's plots now.
Is winter still coming?
Oh
Hold
no,
on.
winter comes in the second book.
Does
Winter,
it?
Yeah.
So what about all the other plots? What about the guy plots? Because it's a girl plot.
it is. That's another reason I don't like it.
Maybe he just can't, embody that character very well.
Oh no, he writes it well. It's well
Yeah.
written. The story's fine. It's not what I want to read about.
So spoil me just a little bit. So when he says winter is coming, we're talking about Father Christmas, right?
Exactly.
Okay. So like Christmas is coming, right? That's
Christmas
what
is coming.
Stark. The Stark family is like my dad, really, really into Christmas lights.
That's it.
Okay. All right. So to kind of transition
beheading
out
people.
of Christmas lights and beheading people.
Exactly.
Fair. To kind of
How
transition
many
out of that.
beheadings?
Well, real quick, how?
Oh,
how
yeah.
I
Okay,
lost
let's
count.
not transition.
Well,
Let's keep
no.
going.
This is one thing. How long has this book series been in production? When did he start writing?
That's a good
Because
question.
I thought I looked it up once on Wikipedia, and now I can't remember the answer.
I started, I think, in 2006.
What does that say there? It should be in the right side.
This one came out in 2011.
Oh,
No, that's not it.
have to look at
That's
the whole series.
Dance of Dragons.
Yeah. I started in 2006, and that was like
been
the
out
third book.
since
Okay.
I think
This is
we
the
were in
fifth
high
book.
school. So
Well,
it's
see,
been a
that's
Game
what
of
I
Thrones
was
came
gonna
out in
say. I thought I
1996.
read.
That
Yeah,
doesn't sound old enough.
96.
I think he's giving Robert Jordan a run for his money.
Well,
Jordan passed.
no,
So.
Robert Jordan. Well, we're
We're
Robert
talking
Jordan
about
has
the-
a
About
very
to talk about
specific,
that.
yeah, but we'll get into that. So, one of the things I picked up this year, out of sheer succumbing to peer pressure,
Yes.
thanks, Johnny.
You're welcome.
I started reading. Actually, Shirley and I. Well, Shirley read some of it. I started reading the Wheel of Time series. I just started the 5th book. It's pretty good. Without any spoilers, I'm really enjoying it. Perrin is by far my favorite character.
Oh yeah.
I think, other than Jesse, who has bad taste clearly because he doesn't like the Wheel of Time book series.
Ooh.
Perrin is the only reason I liked. I stopped reading at book 5 because there wasn't enough Perrin.
Oh, you. Oh, I
got a
can't say
fever.
anything about it. They won't let me
He's
talk.
got a fever for more Perrin.
Yeah. Well, there's an entire book without Matt in it, and
Oh, I can't wait for that book.
And Rand is only in it for like a quarter of the book at most.
Is that book
What?
6? Please say that's
No,
book 6.
no, because they're on 14's coming out next year, so I forget when it is.
Fair.
But I can't say anything.
That's
Never
fine.
mind.
No. So I've really enjoyed the Wheel of Time. I think John runs a D&D campaign for us, hypothetically, every other week. When,
Holidays have been getting in the way.
Yeah, holidays and, just vacation and school and weird crap. But I think when we're done with his story, which should be wrapping up any time now, hypothetically,
Yeah.
we're going to jump into a Wheel of Time series, and I cannot wait to play a Warder. Or no, Ailman. I'm
Yeah,
playing an
you're
Ailman. I don't even know what
Ailman.
I'm playing. I'm playing an Ailman.
Well, you designed the character like 8 months ago.
Yeah, I know.
Ailman, did they like beer?
Yes, beer and spears.
Actually, yeah.
And
yeah.
dancing with them if you're
That's right.
a
They're the
maiden.
spearmen, aren't they?
Yeah.
If you're a man, no, everybody dances the spears at some point in their life. Mm-hmm. Male and female. That's what's so awesome about them.
So, I really like the Wheel of Time series. And what I've learned from the Wheel of Time series is if two characters would talk to each other about the problems they're having, the Dark One would have been defeated like mid-book 2. Just saying,
Yeah.
it would have happened that way.
And I'll point something out. Matt has never read Shakespeare in depth because you learn that lesson reading any Shakespeare play. Talk and problems can be solved.
For the record, Shakespeare was written a couple hundred years ago. These are modern novels.
Well, the first one came out in '91. That was what I was getting at with the Song of Ice and Fire.
Yeah.
Granted, Jordan did pass away, but he's got the 14th book is coming out, and he started writing in 1991.
Is it the 14th book?
It's the 14th book.
Or is it the 13th book plus New Spring?
No. It's New Spring is standalone, doesn't count in the arc of Rand, Matt, and Perrin.
So there are 14 plus 1 books. Or will be.
There
14.
will be.
And that's like next week, isn't it?
Yeah, January 8th.
Brandon Sandberg?
Brandon Sandberg, yeah. So, which I guess he's written quite a bit more. So after I read the last Wheel of Time book, I'm going to start looking into his other works as well.
Do you have that pre-ordered yet?
No.
Are you gonna go pick? Son of a gun!
I got an Amazon card. I got an Amazon
We're
gift
gonna
card
bleep
for
that
Christmas,
out. We're gonna go back and just beep that right out because we're trying to keep this at least.
If it even came across, I kind of whispered it. Hopefully,
so kind of swinging into this year with the Wheel of Time. What is this? Memory of Light, book 14.
Yes.
So that comes out
January 8th is the release date.
You'll have
if I recall
so you're
correctly.
going to call in the 9th, the 10th, and the 11th.
If I could. Well, if they'd record the audio book, I'd have it done on the 8th. But
if you had a Kindle, the Kindle will read it to you. But we'll get to that at the end.
Oh wow! So Wheel of Time, book 14.
I don't remember Shakespeare ever writing a 14 novel series.
No. What I was saying was the whole characters talking to each other. They learned by the end of the story, not at the end of 14 books.
But he's saying that the failure of a character, the flaws of a character, partially being that they don't discuss things, is a very Shakespearean idea.
Yes,
I would say it's a very literary idea, not necessarily Shakespeare specific.
Well,
because it happens across stuff.
I'll be honest.
Saying, if Perrin would look at Rand and say, "I can talk to wolves," spoiler, sorry. Everything would be because
fine.
I'm sorry, Rand can channel. He's gonna judge? Seriously? Oh, you can talk to wolves? No, he doesn't care. He doesn't care at this point. I can channel. You can talk to wolves. High five. Let's go kill something. That's how that works.
Anyway, what was I getting at?
I have no idea.
Oh right.
Right.
What?
The Memory of Light.
Right, Memory of Light. I was just gonna point out the reason it went to book 14, at least in my opinion, is that the number 13 is very important. And you're laughing at me now.
No. It's the same reason that Hobbit went to 3 movies, right?
No, The Hobbit went to 3 movies because Peter Jackson needed a new wing on his house, apparently. Oh.
Let's just be honest. He is not the one making the most money off of this.
No, he's
New
not.
Line
The
Cinema
studios are. Yeah,
is going to make a new wing on their whole studio.
Yeah, they're
But you still haven't seen it yet?
I still have
you
not seen it.
No, but I've heard that they've added some of the things from the
Cimarron. To quote one of our favorite podcasters. We'll talk about that under movies.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
anyway, so
that is a movie.
14th book. Everybody should start reading the series. He started writing in 1991, if I remember my Wikipedia entry correctly.
Right, yeah.
I picked it up in high school, and I've been dying to get this last book forever, it seems like.
Yeah, well, it's been a year and a half since the 13th book has.
Is that it?
I think.
I thought it was 2 years.
So,
well, I guess with January, it was a late December, November release.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess with a January release this year, it's closer to a year and a half than 2 years.
That is the one thing I do like about the series is they went ahead and ended it even though the author died.
Yeah. Well,
George Martin has come out and said the series ends with him.
And Jordan knew he wasn't well, so
Yeah,
he
he
wrote
was sick for
all
years.
these notes, and that's the only reason Sanderson can write the last book. The last two and a half.
Jordan had writing credit. I forget how it worked out.
He has writing
on
credit
13.
on 12 and 13, but he might as well have writing credit on 14 because it's his world and he did all the work.
But I don't think he actually wrote material.
No, I don't think he
se.
did either.
Like
I think he wrote part of 12 and handed it off to Sanderson there, and Sanderson wrote 13 and 14 with a lot of help for 13. For
some reason, I'm thinking he had written chapters of 13, but I'm not positive.
Yeah.
But given that they don't finish one storyline in book 12, he could have written all of a particular character's storyline and decided that halfway through that's going to go in 13.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
and this jumping back and forth between groups not only drives me crazy, but when a group doesn't even show up in a book, like, book 5 that I'm in, and Perrin, that I don't get to see until probably the next book.
Honestly, I don't... How far into book 5 are
20%.
you?
According to my Kindle.
According to your Kindle, 20%. I don't remember... And again, I started reading... Oh, good
I've hit every
Lord.
other group. Literally every...
I got halfway through the book and I stopped reading because there wasn't enough Perrin.
I've hit White Cloaks, even. Like, we've hit everybody.
Well, I can't say anything because Shirley's behind you. But I only remember it. I only remember it one time where, like I said, there was one book without Matt in it. Period. I checked for this podcast. I checked to see when that happened. I don't remember that happening with Perrin.
This is the part that he specifically researches: is if Matt was in a book.
No, I wanted to double check. It was a thing that struck me as I was preparing for tonight. I remembered that element, and I wanted to verify whether I was correct or not. That's all.
That's all right.
So anyway,
all right. So
Wheel of Time. Yay!
Yeah, I don't want to keep moving us on, but we got a lot of stuff on here, and I want to try and get through some of it. Our show notes are not as long as I thought, but long. So the next book is The Last Threshold, which happens to be the 4th book of the Neverwinter saga.
That whole Dritz thing.
Yeah, it's that whole Dritz thing. I'm really excited. The last 3 books, like I said earlier, were good. This book doesn't come out near Gen Con, though, like the last 3 books have, which is interesting. I think it comes out May or April. So I won't be able to have Salvatore sign my advanced copy like he did the last 2 books. But I will get to read them. I'm really looking forward to this.
If you take your copies,
but not my advanced copy when I'm not supposed to have it because I'm big air quotes press. So
come on, we're legit now.
Legit-ish. So Jesse, what's going on with Neuromancer?
Neuromancer is a book written by William Gibson. It's been on my list of books to read for a long time. It was written in 1984, and it's about the internet.
So what you're saying is it's older than some of us, almost as old as some of us are.
Yes.
Okay.
It's a book that was made about the internet back when it was BBSs. Nothing like the internet we have now.
Bulletin board systems?
Bulletin board.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow, I just lost some nerd cred.
Text-based stuff. That.
It is. But they've got... It's really interesting concepts. I'm the first chapter in, and he's at like a chat bar.
Oh, wow.
Bizarre. But it's been on my book list for a long time. It's got a high ratings. I've just never made time to read it.
Okay. So, have you read anything by Gibson before?
Not a bit.
Okay.
This is sort of noirish, and I'm big on noir stories.
Okay.
Noir and internet?
Yes.
I'm in.
Internet noir?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, that sounds pretty good. You'll let us know how it is. You'll write something for the site.
Maybe.
No. You'll write something for the site. So I am looking forward to the Walking Dead graphic novels. I understand that there's a series. I realize that the novels have hit over 100. I just realized that my Comixology account has yet to purchase them, so that's kind of a thing. So
I have a buddy at work who is buying all of the hardbound large format. I have a the first 24 issues.
Come hang out with us.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Brandon, he's a great guy and everything, but he lent me the first 24 issues in a nice hardbound. See, if I'm remembering correctly, it's larger than comic.
Okay.
Comic format. It's still that ratio, but just larger.
Yeah.
I'm only 2 issues into it because I have a 4-year-old and she doesn't need to be looking at people getting their brains smashed out.
Yeah.
Because she likes to, cuddle up and look at what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
So,
I have the first 5 bundle packs, and then I've switched to getting them on Comixology.
Well,
but I absolutely love the series.
Issue 1 is free on Comixology. Yeah. It's like the first half of the first episode of the first season, which looked really nice in black and white. And, and Kirkman knows how to. I'm assuming he's doing a lot of scripting for how the panel should be laid out for his art. Kirkman's just a writer; he's not an artist, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Just a writer.
So, because a lot of it is no words, because it's just him walking through town.
Oh yeah. Well,
so I'm sure he's scripting out all of the panels.
He would. I mean, I've never read a script he writes, but I have a degree in sequential art from Savannah College of Art and Design. I'll just brag about that now.
Officially, let's get this out here. Johnny is an artist.
Yes.
And has a degree.
Yes.
Jesse is going to be an artist and is working on a degree.
Yes.
Yep.
I can't draw stick figures to save my life. Shirley is an artist, but more music-minded.
Yeah. I can doodle, but...
Yeah, but So Johnny does actually have some skill. If you'll see our logo,
I didn't like how that came out.
Well, skill is something you use and refine and then produce stuff with.
Yeah.
If you look at our logo, Johnny did all of that. Although I did edit it. I guess I have the ability to go into Photoshop and tool with stuff, and that's my art. I do technically work in an art department at a major fashion industry company.
Yes. Yes, you
that's
do.
disgusting, but whatever. Johnny is definitely the artist for us, our art director, hypothetically.
Hypothetically. Anyway, the point was that because of my education,
because I got taught how to doodle in college.
Yes, I did. I went to school to learn how to draw comics, storyboards, whatnot. But anyway, my professors were professionals in the field, and that was an amazing experience. Very expensive, but amazing. Anyway, I did have to take a writing course specifically for comics, and depending on the writer, you usually get something like a play that has stage directions, broken down panel by panel. Other writers will do things their own way. The Stan Lee way of writing, the Marvel way of writing back in the day was Stan would give the artist of the day, Jack Kirby, whoever, a basic plot. Spider-Man fights the Vulture. And then Kirby would draw Spider-Man fights the Vulture. And
leaving enough room for
giant-ass word balloons whenever he felt like it. Yeah, but he would draw the story in 22 pages, decide what the Vulture was doing. And then Stan Lee would go in and actually fill in the dialogue boxes.
And still surprisingly wrap it up an entire story, and I think it was more like 25 or 26 pages back then.
Back then, yes, but that's also why you get some very loose,
questionable.
Yeah, and why Stan was able to do like 5 or 6 books a month, whereas modern day writers.
Unless you're Robert Kirkman.
Was he doing just 2, right?
I think he does Invincible, Walking Dead, and another one.
I don't know what the other one would be.
He does Invisible, Walking Dead, and then is a producer on the TV series, which does take time.
No, I'm not saying he's slacking off. I'm just saying...
Yeah.
But he's slacking off.
2 books. Come on, dude.
All right,
anyway,
yes, the good thing about the comic series is if you watch a TV show, they
different.
vary greatly. I mean,
Yes.
they do things to specifically separate the two from each other.
Okay. So, Jesse, Cold Days?
Oh, that would be me again,
By
wouldn't it?
Mr. Butcher.
Yes, Cold Days. Cold Days is the 14th book in the Dresden Files.
Hey, look, 14 books. Yay.
Well, does Dresden Files focus on the number 13?
This author's still alive.
Hey.
And it doesn't take 17 years to write a single book.
He's about a book
Martin?
a year.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Martin.
Yeah,
Sure.
true. Him.
Have you read Cold Days? Oh, no, you did. You reviewed it for the site.
Not Cold Days, no. I reviewed the
You did
series.
a picture for the site.
Yes,
That's right.
I used the picture for the new book.
Have you read it yet?
No.
When's it out?
It's still on my... Oh, it's out.
Oh.
I like the funds.
Slacker.
Yeah, I will be...
What are you, a college student?
Exactly.
So have you watched the TV series?
I have. It's a fun series.
I watched most of the first episode. It wasn't bad. It just didn't grab me and hold me. And I was just like, I could come back to this. And I knew Shirley would probably want to watch it, so I kind of held off on watching the rest of it because it's kind of her thing. I did like the undead mage guy that was helping him, that was trapped under his control, but I don't know if that's in the book or not.
It's in the book, but he's a very different thing. He's not an undead mage. He's a fire spirit trapped in a skull.
That's a little different.
It is very different, but they couldn't. They tried to do it in the TV show, but they couldn't animate it correctly. So not for that kind of
not of a TV show budget.
Sci-fi.
Not for as much as that dude was on camera. So, all right, well,
but yeah, it's a fun TV show, but it's nothing really like the books. The books are a lot grittier. It's still very comical.
Okay,
and it's noir.
So let's that'll kind of wrap up our novels. So we're going to move on to podcasts. This year I've been listening to a lot of stuff, but one of my favorites, absolute favorites,
is this one.
Well, since this is the first one, I haven't really listened to this, even though, we're kind of recording it now. So next year, you know what? Let me edit the show notes real quick. So this year, I've really enjoyed Top 5 from Major Spoilers, the Major Spoilers podcast crew. There's something about the 3 and sometimes 4 of them getting together and talking about the things that they really love and really rank in a certain order. And the reverence they really give the whole process that I really, really like. And it's usually hilarious.
Usually.
even the stories about people losing their hearing from a shotgun blast in a car.
Which one was that?
Rob lost his hearing in his left ear when his mom accidentally shot, or his dad accidentally shot his mom in the truck.
Yeah.
Or the other way around.
Yeah.
Shot the dad.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah. So, I mean... And it's a good group of people. I've met a couple of the writers. I've met 3 of the writers. 2 of the guys that did the podcast. They're really good people. I really like them. So I've really enjoyed Top 5. If you can check that out, I did review it for the site a couple weeks ago, month or 2 ago. I don't know. Yeah. I did review it for the site though.
That review actually made me listen to it, and I'm glad I did.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They have a Halloween one. Halloween candy is really good. I really like their favorite desserts favorite cookies.
Cookies is funny.
Because it turns out cannolis are cookies. I didn't know it.
If they sell them next to the chocolate chip cookies at the deli.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So, Shirley, tell us about Critical Hit, and please, Johnny and Jesse, keep in mind that Shirley's not out of the first
I don't
tower.
even know what episode I'm on.
First hour?
Like,
Tower.
Like, they just got to the top of the tower.
I think that's where
It's
I am,
crazy.
actually.
Yes.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So, to give you guys...
And who is it? Smith keeps using his unseen servant.
No, Orem.
Orem.
So,
Orem.
Critical Hit is a D&D play podcast.
For 4th edition D&D.
For 4th edition, run by the Major Spoilers crew.
Yep.
We really like Major Spoilers here.
Yes, a lot.
I don't know about the Major Spoilers crew, but I like to work.
It's run by Rodrigo. He runs a game of 4 players where Shirley's currently at. That may change in the far future for you.
What?
Yeah.
Rodrigo doesn't play?
No.
DMs,
There's
they
another
added a girl.
person added. At some
they added somebody.
When we watched the Nerdtacular film, we saw the girl.
Yeah.
So
He runs these 4 people through the story. They're fighting the moon gods of craziness and the void gods. That's what.
Oh my god!
Who live on the moon?
Who live on the moon? See moon gods. I was right.
Well, they live. They live on the
They're
moon in another dimension, and it's complicated. Listen to the podcast, you'll get it.
Oh yeah. But they do a really good job of role playing. The players really get into the concepts. The table is very well balanced with what a real table is. There's a rules lawyer. There's a guy that knows absolutely nothing. There's a guy that just wants to role play, and there's a guy that can't hit for nothing. It really is a balanced.
It's a pretty average.
Like
in our
literally
experience,
can't hit for anything because his dice rolls suck so bad.
Yeah. So every time we go somewhere that's more than like a 20-minute drive, Shirley makes me pull out my iPhone and put the podcast on, and we listen to it. And then she dozes off listening to stories of D&D.
I don't doze off. You don't let me doze off.
So what do you think? Is it worth picking up and listening
definitely. I mean, even for any of the gamer girls out there, I love being read to. I like stories. So if I'm quiet all the time, it's because I'm listening to you because I like hearing your stories. And listening to Critical Hit when you found that, and then just mashing up with D&D, which, I'm new to, just over 3 years in, and I fell in love, so I love hearing the story and seeing where the characters are going to go. And
guys, if you want a happy relationship, have your girlfriend play D&D and then make sure she likes it, because that works for me, and now she won't stop playing.
I just like killing stuff.
Oh yeah,
You shouldn't have introduced me to WoW.
Oh yeah.
Well, I just want to say at the caveat, because I got to play devil's advocate if nobody else. They do have episodes where they get off topic.
Very far off topic sometimes.
In fact, one of their not the one that just came out tonight, but the one before this, I had to just let it play while I wasn't listening to it because they got off topic. Stick with it.
Do you guys not like that?
To an extent,
a little bit.
You haven't listened to this particular episode. It's bad.
It's been the last couple that have been a little tough.
But again, they record late at night, kind of not sometimes later than we're doing right now, and they all have real world jobs. And
two of them are Skyping in.
2 and 3 o'clock in the morning. It's really late to be playing D&D and focused. So I don't blame them. I'm just saying the point I'm getting at is there are going to be episodes where you're going to get frustrated because they got off topic. Give them time; they'll get back to it. Rodrigo's a good DM.
See, that's what I like about it.
Well, I to an extent I do.
Yeah.
But the previous episode was bad.
Yeah.
Well, and if you wait till season 3, you get Captain America Dinosaur Man.
That was amazing. I love that.
Yeah, Captain America Dinosaur Man was totally worth the wait.
Rob takes over as DM during an off season, and they go to a prehistoric setting
where everybody's a dinosaur.
Well, no, one guy is a dinosaur.
Well, everybody is a dinosaur, and they reskin all the rest of the races. Yeah. So one person's a dragonborn, and the rest are races that have been reskinned to look like dinosaurs and given reasons why they're dinosaurs.
Because Steven was a satyr.
But
Rodrigo was against
that's right. Yeah.
And the other guy, D&D Brian played a shard mind, who instead of being pink crystal, they described as granite.
Yeah.
And Rodrigo had a pet dinosaur because he was a Beastmaster Ranger.
That's right.
They had the option to play dinosaurs and they didn't?
Well, what they did was they just took the Dragonborn, and when they said dinosaurs, Matthew was like, I want to be a dinosaur. So all they did was say, well, you're a Dragonborn for, sheet reasons, for stat reasons. And then he said, okay, but I have a frill and horns like a Triceratops. Done. That's all you needed.
And then
he was a dinosaur.
And then he threw a shield like Captain America. So, all right.
Critical hit. Listen.
So yeah, critical hit's really good. Let's move on.
Me again?
Yes.
Star Talk Radio's podcast I've started listening to this year. To be honest, it's hosted by Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Well, yeah.
He's an astrophysicist, and he is the director of the Hayden Planetarium.
So is this DeGrasse like Degrassi Junior High?
No.
Is it Canadian at least?
DeGrasse that is best known for the person who killed Pluto as a planet.
Oh, well, although I already don't like this guy.
He technically didn't kill him. He's just misinformed as him. He describes himself as more of as the guy who drove the getaway car.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, I'm not. You've already lost me. I don't want to listen to this podcast.
Yeah. What does that mean, drove the getaway car?
He was friends with the person who killed Pluto, and then he backed him up with science.
Great.
Pluto's a planet.
I can't argue with science.
That means in my astrological sign, one of my main planets are gone. So I'm pretty much lost in the universe.
Well, I mean, if you're gonna what I never did
completely ruined Sailor Moon.
I never did get the
he doesn't meet the criteria that they redid.
Okay, so they changed the definition of planets.
The problem was we were either going to gain 30 planets or lose one.
Were those 30 planets moons
almost
of Jupiter
exactly
and
like Jupiter? They're a little bit further out. They're the same size, density.
What?
Of
Why
Jupiter?
didn't we gain
Around
the
about.
planets?
There are astral bodies beyond Pluto, like Jupiter.
No, like Pluto.
Like Pluto. Like Pluto.
Yeah, they were similar to Pluto. I thought I said Pluto. I'm sorry.
I want you to keep defending this choice and answer this question. My very educated mother just made us 9. What? We got nothing now. We don't get pizza. This is all this guy's fault. I don't want to listen to this.
No pizza for you.
I never heard that mnemonic before.
You ever heard that one?
No.
Oh, that's how we learned them.
Really?
Yeah,
I just learned them because I was into that stuff.
I had the same thing. Never mind.
Yeah.
Must have been a Columbus thing.
It's also hosted by Bill Nye the Science Guy at times. So that
Okay, you lost me with Degrassi Junior High. You brought me back with Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Yeah, it's worth listening to. It really is. They have fun. It's comical. You'll learn something.
Hold on, and is his rat friend on there too?
It's quite a
rat.
No, was that Bill Nye?
No, that was
wasn't that Pee Wee Herman?
That was Beekman.
No. That was Beekman's World. Who had the rat guy?
Yeah,
I always get those two mixed up.
So
sorry.
let's move on to this next year and what we're looking at forward to this next year. John, Comic Dorks?
So Comic Dorks, another major spoilers tie-in. technically through the Frog Pants Network, who I think at least Matt and I don't know if you guys like the Frog Pants Network.
I listen to just about everything on there.
I haven't heard anything from them. I mean, I've got so many things to do. I ain't got time for podcasts.
Right. You don't get to sit at your desk for 10 hours a day like I do and listen to podcasts.
I'm only there for 8 hours a day.
Well, you suck. I'm at work for 10 hours a day.
I don't watch TV. I listen to podcasts.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
I would have, but I have that 4-year-old that wants my attention sometimes.
Maybe I'll do that.
And a wife that wants the rest of your attention the other times. Yeah.
So anyway, Comic Dorks, it's got Steven Schleicher from the Major Spoilers crew, Scott Johnson who runs Frog Pants Network, one of my favorite webcomic artists, Scott Kurtz, who runs PvP online.
And also does another podcast for...
I've never listened to that.
He does one, Chris and Scott show.
Well...
Yeah.
I mean, they do a video. Do they do a podcast as well?
Technically, that's a podcast.
Well,
it's just a video podcast.
Yeah.
I remember him talking about a podcast that he's on.
Okay. Well, he did a pay site where they did like news and advice on the webcomics industry, but you had to pay to get it.
And he was on the Wizards of the Coast podcast.
Yes, and he does play D&D with the Penny Arcade guys, and then I'm sorry if anybody on that show ever listens to this. I'm sorry, the Wood Whisperer. I can't remember his
Mark Spagnola.
Mark Spagnola. I apologize, Mark, if you ever hear this.
Because that's super likely.
Yeah, super likely. Anyway, yeah. So they have a great crew because Steven, Scott Johnson, and Scott Kurtz are all into comics, and then Mark Spagnola is. A woodworker, and so he's like the layman of the group. He doesn't create a comic of any sort.
Well, and Scott Johnson and Scott Kurtz are both artists.
They are.
Then Major Spoilers is a comic book review site, so they're he's kind of the knowledge, the insider knowledge of the comic book industry.
He's got news. So, Scott Kurtz has insider stuff.
Yeah.
It's a really good show. They're only 3 episodes in. They're supposed to be on a monthly schedule. Oh, excuse me. Supposed to be on a monthly schedule, but
just keep going. I don't know what they're giggling about. Just let's keep going.
Their 4th episode to me seems to be a little late, but I haven't checked the date. I just like listening to the show because they have a great rapport together. So.
Yeah, and with the holiday.
Yeah, with the holiday.
I will warn you, it is a little cussy. When Scott Kurtz gets a little worked up.
If you're not familiar with Scott Kurtz, he is opinionated.
Solidly.
Sometimes wrong.
But usually funny.
Yeah.
He's funny when he's wrong.
Yeah, it's good stuff. His comic is great.
How many podcasts are affiliated with the Frog Pants Network?
Last time I looked, something like 30.
Oh, wow.
30? I don't think it's that high. I think it's closer to 20.
Sword and Laser. I mean, you've got...
Yeah. Short of going... I guess Jesse's trying to go to the site. Well, that's true. There's a lot. It's a good network of podcasts. You'll probably find something you're looking for if you go check them out. Frogpants.com.
Wow, that looks like it's
9 done through them. Now, friends of them, there's also...
I counted the friends of them.
So. Well, they Coverville, Critical Hit,
13 friends of them.
So
22.
So I was closer at 20 and you were at 30. Anyway.
Oh, my God. Put down the testosterone and walk away. Just saying.
Frog Pants is great. Love a lot of... everything I listen to on it is great. I'm slowly getting into it. They've got a music show, a woodworking show, a daily news show.
They do video games. They do movies.
Yeah, they have a World of Warcraft dedicated one.
They had 2 movies for a while with Movielicious. That ended.
What's the World of Warcraft one like?
The Instance.
I've listened to a lot of it. It's a lot of high level talk and long player talk. Oh. It's not bad. They have gleans of information for new players, but it's pretty heavy.
And they talk about updates, whenever a new update comes out, they'll talk about it.
5.1 Landfall came out, they've talked about that a lot.
What is 5.1 Landfall? Oh, we'll get to that later.
We'll talk about WoW.
Anyway, so Comic Dorks is great. Look for it. It's a monthly podcast. They're a little behind, but it's a great show. They get
and they're not on a super tight schedule either.
They aren't. They're
kind of
everybody
once a month
get
when
together.
they can get together. And I think Mark Spagnuolo has the easy schedule to work with because Steven Schleicher's doing 4 or 5 podcasts a week. And Scott Johnson does like 7 podcasts a week. And
it helps that Scott Johnson can work from home and Scott Kurtz can work from home. So.
And his office, which is almost like his home. Yeah. So, all right. Well, I have discovered a new podcast called Dystopic Radio, hosted by the Dystopic Boys. They're both out of what?
Is that seriously their name? The Dystopic? I mean,
they've named themselves. Yeah.
Okay.
It's Neil and something. I don't remember. I've talked to them through email a couple times, but they're really, really good. They focus on reviewing movies that are about a dystopic future. So they have 2 lists that they go off of: a list of movies they want to see, and a list that has been suggested to them that they know nothing about before watching them.
So they're like, you should watch this movie, and they're like, okay, we'll do that next week.
Well, no, they already have the lists, and I'm sure they add to them. But so like they did RoboCop and Looper in one episode. They did. They've done a couple others. They've done stuff I've not heard of before, but it's not bad. They talk about the local brewing. They're out of the Northwest, so there's a little bit of that. But the local brewing there has the 12 beers of the apocalypse, so it kind of fits.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah. So they're really pretty good. They have a website that focuses on dystopic stuff too. They review some books. One of my favorite books, The Giver, is something they put on there. It's really, really good. It's a writing laureate winner. It's a junior high level reading, but it's really, really good. It's worth picking up. But Dystopic Radio's, that's 2 guys having fun, and it's clear they're having fun. And that's really what podcasting is about. So.
Is it new? Because I'm downloading it right now, and there's only like 8 podcasts.
There are 4 full episodes. There are 4 full episodes. They do mini casts. So like they went to see the new Dredd movie, and they recorded a mini cast while they were in line. I'm assuming on some sort of phone, and then put that up as a podcast, and then recorded before they went in and their expectations and what they thought of after. Just a real quick. So it's only like 10 minutes for those mini casts, except for this last mini cast, which is. Why didn't the world end on 12/21? Then they recorded it on 12/22. So if they know that the world didn't end, yay. But it's almost like an.
I don't think that really.
I think we're okay with that spoiler.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like an hour and 20 minutes. I mean, this is a hefty mini cast, and mini in this one is highlighted in quotes, so it's clear that they know what they went over. So. It's fun. I've been enjoying it, and it falls in a weird realm of weird things that I kind of like. So, Jesse,
the podcast I just found this. I'm looking forward to listening to it a lot this year. It's called Cthulhu.
Cthulhu's not a podcast. He's an elder god.
I specifically found this podcast by trying to find podcasts about Cthulhu, and it found this one miraculously.
How'd you find this one?
I typed in Cthulhu in Google. Cthulhu podcast, and it said this podcast is called Cthulhu. Did you mean this?
Is it on iTunes?
Sure.
Yes, it is on iTunes.
Okay.
It's just short stories. They tend to be broken up between 2 or 3 podcasts. They're about an hour each. They're well read. There's not a whole lot of information on their blog about it.
What do they read? I mean, are they reading their
short
own stories?
Or sometimes they do ones that H.P. Lovecraft himself did. Sometimes they're new ones. Every story is set within the realm. It's all like 1920s typical Lovecraftian mythos.
Technically, Cthulhu's open license as far as writing goes. If I've been told correctly.
Well, it is, and Lovecraft left his stuff open, and a lot of what we know as Lovecraft as Cthulhu is actually other people's writing, because Lovecraft didn't write much. I mean, he wrote, but he didn't write a lot before.
Right.
Most of his stuff are short stories anyway.
I don't think he wrote a full story.
No.
I think he I don't think he ever wrote a full novel. I think he wrote a bunch of short stories that were submitted to magazines and such.
He created a great realm for everybody to play in.
Yeah. So that's cool.
But yeah, the podcast is. It seems like it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I'm only like 3 into it, so I might be misled. But
okay.
and which brings me to the one I was going to talk about. And, well, no, actually, I want to talk about another one that's not in the show notes.
Very good. Briefly. Let's not put stuff in the show notes. That's helpful.
Now. Well, I just remembered it. It's been a while since I've listened to it. It's called "We're Alive." It's actually a radio show produced on the that they do on the internet. It's a play, if you will. It's got great production values. There are tons of episodes into it. It's a zombie apocalypse story, and they have a cast of characters. People die. Plots unravel. It's a great show. It just I don't know why I forgot it to put on this list until just now.
What is it again?
It's called We're Alive. But
I have listened to some of that. Yeah,
it's very good. It's done in the classic radio play style where there's sound effects and like there's when they have a machine gun shooting, you hear the machine gun.
More than one person just reading too. It's kind of
right. They emote and they act. They're not just reading off the story.
Anyway,
so it's. I would highly recommend if you're into zombie apocalypse stuff.
So it's like a radio play then.
It's a radio play. Yeah.
Okay.
It's like
have you listened to any Red Panda Adventures?
No, I keep meaning to look that up.
Red Panda Adventures.
The door is right there. You can leave, sir.
I have a hard time with bipedal animals. I really do. I don't know why.
What?
They're animals that do things, but they're animals, and I just.
You don't like anthropomorphic animals?
The anthropomorphic. That's
anthropomorphic?
That word, yes.
They're not anthropomorphic. He's a dude.
He's a dog, isn't he?
No, he's a dude.
Who's the dog? Wasn't there a dog?
No, there's no dog.
So, the red panda is like the Green Hornet?
Yes, only he's Canadian. He's Canadian.
But, I mean, he's a guy that is just called the red panda.
I'm sure there's a dog.
Yeah. No, there's no dog. He has the flying squirrel as his sidekick.
No, I can handle a sidekick.
Oh no, these are pulp adventures too.
Yeah.
So they're set in the pre-World War II era.
Yeah.
So there's Red Panda, and they also put out Blackjack Justice.
I absolutely love that one.
It's Blackjack Justice. I mean, I
love
it.
It's great. It's noir.
But again, and a radio play type thing.
And it's very pulpy.
Yeah.
And they're just fun. I mean. Blackjack Justice is gritty, but it's not bad. It's like it was written in the 30s. So there's no language. There's none of that.
Not a super lot of blood and everything.
Right.
Oh well, you've mentioned it to me in the past, and I just keep meaning to add it.
It is a lot of fun. I listen to that one. I like that one. It doesn't have any talking dogs.
It does not have talking dogs either. I reviewed both of those for the site. You can read those on nerdsdom.com.
That's why I tried them.
So you have actually visited our site.
I mentioned there was top 5 was from the site also. Yeah.
Anyway,
I've been there once or twice.
Okay. So I wanted to pimp We're Live, and then the other podcast I just literally found this last week. Fanable.com is the website. They do play podcasts. They sit down and they play a game. They jump around. They play different games depending on their mood and their schedule.
Are they available on iTunes?
I don't know. I actually don't know that because I don't have an iPhone.
iTunes does not require an iPhone.
No, but at work I'm not allowed to download things on iTunes, that's right. So I don't bother getting on the store. You have better internet connection
now, so.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I don't have a Mac at home either, so it's just
iTunes still works on a PC.
Yeah, my phone is still a computer in my hand, so I just do everything.
But it's a bad one because it's not an iPhone.
hey, it could be an iPad.
True.
Anyway, Fanable.com. I'm gonna diss it, and
So wait, so you brought something up to talk bad about it?
No,
Good. No. You set the standard, so I can do it later under movies.
Let's not get into that.
I'm going to do that with movies also, just so you know.
Yeah, my only issue with their podcasts, and this is going to be slightly ironic when everybody hears it, is all they do is put a microphone in the middle of the table and play.
Yeah,
which is our current setup.
Horrible setup. Yeah. Horrible setup.
It's horrible.
I mean, you can't understand half what they say.
Yeah. I'm only a few episodes in. I've been cherry picking. I love New World of Darkness. They got a guy, Billy, who runs
Oh, Billy.
Yeah.
What?
Billy Madison.
He's crafted this little pocket universe they call the Billyverse on the show, and it's
awesome.
It is awesome.
Did you spell that right in the show notes?
Probably not.
Why does it matter?
I'm a horrible
because it's not
speller.
on iTunes under that.
Well,
it's not in the show notes at all.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
Where?
I just added it. He hasn't refreshed.
Mine doesn't update. I want to add something also, so you know that I can't add to this.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, their early shows are bad. They live in it sounds like, and I could be wrong, but it sounds like they live in an apartment or at least a house with several people, and occasionally you'll hear people walk in and clomp through the room.
Yeah. I listened to a podcast like that. I reviewed on the site called Gamer Heaven. That was just they set a mic on the table. There were like 6 or 7 or 8 players. I couldn't count. And they were like talking about making their characters for 4th edition for Keep on the Shadowfell, and then you'd hear, "Hey, what do you want for pizza? You guys want to order Chinese?" Like I get that there's a level of
Chinese
production
sounds
quality.
I know.
There's a level of production
Let me
professionalism
find
that I'm used to from certain
From Major Spoilers
from
and
Major
Frog
Spoilers
Pants
and Frog
Network.
Pants. And then this did not have it, and they were picking up all the extra information noise like you're probably doing here.
Pounding
I can't
on the
really
table.
complain about that,
Yeah.
but it went, I don't know, 40 episodes, something ridiculous, and it was just
See,
the same thing.
Fanable has gotten better. Like I said, I cherry picked the New World of the Darkness stuff to start.
Yeah, fair enough.
But from where I started to, they do a Dresden Files game. There's a role playing system for Dresden Files.
There's
it's a
play
fate
it,
system. I'm not sure I like it.
I love Fate system. I'm getting into that the more I listen to them.
Okay, what is that?
It's a
You know those dice with the pluses and minuses on it?
yeah.
No.
He's got a pair. He'll get them out sometime.
No, I actually don't. You don't know about dice?
So he's going to get pair out sometime.
Yeah.
Don't make me put
Anyway,
dice on the show notes.
It's a game that's all about 6-sided dice. You have
Right.
stats or abilities with a number next to them.
Right.
And when the DM says, make me a roll for perception, you pick, like, so if you have a, I don't remember all the rules, but if you have a 6 in one skill and a 4 in the other skill that the DM asks you to roll, you build your dice pool.
Right.
But instead of having numbers, the dice all have pluses and minuses and blanks. So then you roll that, count up your pluses, subtract out your negatives, and then if you have a positive number, you've gotten that many successes.
Right. Is that by the same company that made Elder Sign?
No. Elder Sign is made by Fantasy Flight. They're a board game company mostly, except for the new Star Wars.
Yeah. Fate is actually getting a reboot.
Oh, good.
They're being streamlined and better made. Apparently, Atomic Robo, which
you sold.
Done. Yeah, Atomic Robo has a play setting that was they did a podcast. They were beta testing, maybe beta version 2 testing. I'm not entirely sure how they got their hands on that. But they did a game called The Deadliest Topping, where a mushroom came to life and took over a who's Atomic Robo work? Tesladyne Research Center. The mushroom came to life and took over the scientists at Tesladyne, and the players were a crew of action scientists who went in to find out what the problem was. It was hilarious. There was a giant fungus dinosaur. They killed it with a golf cart and a car wash.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Right on.
The only way to kill giant fungus.
So that uses the new Fate system, and it while we're talking about the role playing game, Atomic Robo sounded awesome in that one podcast. I highly anticipate playing it.
How many episodes are we in, Fanable?
At least, let me get my phone out.
Since I can't find it on iTunes.
Right, I'll check the spelling.
Yeah.
While he's looking this up, I would like to, at some point, talk about a YouTube channel video. Would that fit in this or in a future category?
That'll go at the very end in the miscellaneous. On the weekend specials.
So I do have a miscellaneous.
Okay, well, I'll edit the show notes.
Well,
I also have a movie.
That's all right. I'll look at the website.
It's Fandibble.
Fandibble.
Fandible.
Because you can dibble
Like
anything, it might
mandible?
as well be a fan.
Yeah.
Fandible. See, I was thinking about Dibling fans.
Anyway. So, I have not listened to 69 episodes of
You always
Fandible.
go there. Like it's
1,
there.
2, 3, 4.
It's got to be some kind of body part.
11.
Found it.
There you go. 12, 13, 14.
Oh, it's explicit.
15,
We should mention that it
17,
isn't
18.
explicit.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
But they don't edit.
But it
themselves.
does grab the explicit tag, which, tonight we might grab the explicit tag. Thanks, Johnny.
Whatever.
It looks like there's 100 episodes according to iTunes.
I was going to say about 70, but
Yeah.
And I could be off some. It looks like there might be some duplicates on here, but it looks about like 100 episodes. So.
Yeah. The one problem I have with them is they don't bumper their shows. So if a game lasts 4 hours, they decide to break it into 2 podcasts, 2 hours each. You'll be listening right along, and it will stop. without
without warning
whatsoever.
Ouch.
You know what? If that's their worst quality, that's not that big of a deal.
Like I said, early episodes, you get a lot of background noise. They don't bumper their shows. That's all I can really say. The crew that they play with is amazing.
What World of Darkness game did they do? Is it New World of Darkness, I assume?
It's New World of Darkness is what they run, and they've only played Mortal games.
Okay.
They because it was kind of good. There were not complaints. I mean, they're all friends, but they talk after each game ends about what they liked.
Okay.
With the New World of Darkness games, they talk about how well the story came across and what the GM did that was awesome and not awesome, and then when they get new games like the Atomic Robo setting, they actually even talk about the system.
Okay.
So it's a real, what they did and didn't like about the system. The Atomic Robo session that they played with the mushrooms was the prepackaged adventure.
Okay.
So you guys should check that out. Fandible.com.
Okay. Well, that kind of wraps up our podcast section. We are running right along, almost an hour.
Good.
Already. So let's go on into games. We're going to speed this up just a tiny bit. So Elder Sign is a game I picked up this year after playing a couple of times. It's a Cthulhu game, so I'm sure Jesse's all excited. I hear Jesse loves Cthulhu and sacrificing his friends to the Elder Gods.
Oh my gosh.
Just
Every
have to have
chance he gets.
Or
just have to have an exit strategy. That's all there is
in a
to it.
building and running away.
I survived. I won.
So Elder Sign is a card-ish game. It's not really there's no real board. It's based on cards that you use.
What's the other game that did have the board?
Arkham Horror.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
and Arkham Horror is good. Arkham Horror is good. It takes a lot of setup. There are a lot of rules. There's a lot of steps that you clean out a lot of that stuff that just seems a little tedious, and you really get Elder Sign is the way I feel about it.
It is because you get the same characters, the same monsters.
Well, it's a little. I think it's a little overly dumbed down, but that was done for simplicity, so I'm okay with that.
They use the same characters for all their games. You have the same set of characters also in Mansions of Madness.
Really?
The same set of characters.
Mansions of Madness is awesome because
is that the one we did at Gen Con?
Yeah, where I kept using this cultist and I was going to summon a horrible thing, and then they booted us from the demo table.
Yes.
Why did they boot you?
Because we'd been there for like an hour.
We ran out. I think
gosh.
the guy who was technically running the game for us had to go to lunch or something.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, bathroom break.
Elder Sign is also available on the iOS App Store.
I absolutely love it. I have all the in-app purchases for it.
Yeah, I have all the in-app purchases too. It's hard.
It is.
It can be easy. Like the easy setting is easy. The hard setting is horrible, and you will die every time.
Yeah, I've never beaten Cthulhu on any setting.
I've gotten to him.
I haven't even gotten to him.
Do you always get to Cthulhu, or do you?
Nope.
No, I've never gotten to Cthulhu.
Unlike in the normal one where you have to get so many Elder Signs to seal away the thing, after so many Elder Signs, then you go to this discovery phase where you have to get things and then you go fight Cthulhu, and it's not really on your timetable. It's when the game decides it. And then Cthulhu is hard, and if you don't have the 3 things you were looking for, you're at a disadvantage. Like one of them doesn't if you don't have it, you can't use the yellow or red dice. Period.
Oh,
for that, and it's one last fight.
Wow.
And that's it. So it gets a little rough. But
have you played against Azathoth yet?
Yes, really hard to.
Yes, he just keeps spitting out monsters on all of the places.
Yeah, he does. I really recommend Elder Sign, either the card-ish game, not board game, but in a box like a board game.
I liked Elder Sign.
Or
Arkham Horror, the board game, was a bit tedious.
It was tedious, but I still had fun with it. I really did.
Yeah, it's Fantasy Flight. They like their tokens.
And both games are made by Fantasy Flight. I really like Fantasy Flight. We'll talk about another Fantasy Flight game here in a minute. Under Jesse's next year stuff. But I really recommend it. I recommend the iOS app too. So what's Saints Row the Third?
Saints Row the Third is the third game in the Saints Row series.
You don't say.
I played it for the computer. It's for all consoles, all modern consoles.
So I can't get it on my Atari 2600.
I would like to state up front, it is a mature rated game. It is a mature rated game for a reason. I wouldn't have a problem with, say, my 14-year-old kid, if I had one, to play Grand Theft Auto.
Doesn't that require a date first?
Hey, no. Actually, it would require either one of the parts. If you understood anatomy a little better. Anyway.
Ouch. Yeah, I don't want to know. Anyway, so Saints Row.
Saints Row the Third is... It's graphic, it's lewd. It's a whole lot of fun. I absolutely love it.
Yeah,
it's set in modern times. It's like Grand Theft Auto. You're a criminal. Okay. It's way over the top. You start off jumping out of the back of an airplane, falling through another person's airplane while you're falling. You
work for the mob?
You are the ringleader of a gang who has fallen on hard times, which is apparently in all of the Saints Rows. You're always the leader of the gang who falls upon hard times.
Nice.
Okay. And you're always the same character. So you fall into a hard time, things get better. You fall into hard times, things get better.
Interesting.
But yeah, they don't take themselves seriously at all. It's a blast.
Okay.
As long as you don't mind lewd humor.
Well, how lewd? That has its place.
How lewd?
Is there still the prostitutes in the back of the van?
No, that's not. That's
Grand Theft Auto.
It's Grand Theft Auto. And
but yes,
I don't even.
It doesn't even have to be a van.
My favorite character,
something classy like a Mustang or a Ferrari, or a Bentley,
or a Yugo.
My favorite character is a pimp who has, I believe it's lung cancer, where you have to talk through the device in your neck.
Usually,
throat cancer.
Yeah, what he talks through is an auto-tuned one.
That's disgusting.
And
so does it modulate as he talks?
It does.
Nice.
It is.
All right.
It's a great game. It really is.
So Saints Row the Third, not for children.
Not for children. Still a great game. It is. Best game I've played all year.
All right. Fortune and Glory.
Oh my gosh. One of my favorite games that we got from Gen Con last year. I tell you, I wanted to walk around with it the whole time after we bought it.
Even though this is the biggest, most giantest box ever for a game.
Seriously weighs like 10 pounds. It's ridiculous.
So, it's a game by Flying Frog Pants Productions.
Not Frog Pants. There's no pants.
Oh, wait.
It's just Flying Frog Productions. No.
Flying Frog. Flying.
Frog Pants is the other.
Frogs around here. Oh my gosh. Flying Frog Production.
You're calling me French? Oh, wait a minute.
What?
Hey, that's racist.
So that's so wrong. Anyway. Came out around July, August of 2012. I think
really?
It was,
really?
I thought I saw it the year before.
Yeah, it was there the year before.
No, I don't think it was there the year before.
Was it? Maybe it was previewed.
This is the newest game I've ever co-owned.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, really?
Oh, right. Because it was what, $115?
And that's the thing. The game was $100, $99.95. We got $5 off because we had. We didn't. I forgot the coupon, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
So we ended up splitting it between Jesse, Shirley, and I. But we have played it. I don't know, half a dozen times.
Yeah.
And every time it's long, but I think it's fun.
I think it's amazing.
As long as everybody knows what they get into, it's fun.
Yeah.
I do have one drawback to the game.
What?
And it seems as if you're starting to fail early. There's no comeback late game.
Okay, there isn't. And the reason why I hate losing in games, I'm very, very competitive. But the reason why I like this game is because it has all the story to it. And no matter how many times I turn that dang card over to the cliffhanger and I get my butt kicked by some Nazis or whatever, mobsters, car chases, or plane crashes, or Titanic sinking ships.
Anyway,
it's still a lot of fun, and I love the way that we played it last time. You guys telling the story and doing the voices. So
it's a very pulp adventure game. It's kind of like an Indiana Jones. Everybody's an Indiana Jones type.
It's Indiana Jones.
Go find your artifacts and sell them off to win the game. And it does have a cooperative and a non-cooperative game. Competitive, I think, is the word.
Competitive.
Cutthroat is what I would say.
Yeah.
As I could have won the last game, but Johnny is a jerk.
Yep.
But it's a really good game, and it does lend to a lot of storytelling between the group if you want, or you can just play the game as it is. Highly recommended by Will Wheaton.
Right. He did Tabletop. Season 2 of Tabletop. Yeah. Yeah,
that just started.
It's not out yet, though. But
no, season 2 they already started.
August 6th.
They filmed it over the last couple months, but they just started releasing episodes.
Good. So there's
season 2. Will Wheaton's Tabletop. Fortune and Glory is going to be right there.
Good. So we should watch that. We should totally watch that.
And it's 1 to 8. It's 1 to 8 players recommended for 3 players.
At 6.
Yeah.
8 players. Each player's turn does take some time. It can take a long time too, because the better you are, the better you do, the farther you keep going. So all right. So Fortune and Glory, that sounds good. So Jesse, Fallout New Vegas.
So
do you play anything but video games?
I do.
Well, obviously, he hangs out with us. Plays Fortune and Glory.
Elder Signs. I play that on my iPad.
That's a video game.
Anyway, Fallout New Vegas. It's the 4th in the Fallout series, the 5th, but a lot of people discredit one of them, so that doesn't matter.
And that's the one I like.
What?
Tactics?
No. I'm thinking of the top-down one that looked like Baldur's Gate.
So it's either
Fallout 1 and 2. Yeah, those are good. I think it's Fallout Tactics.
I've not played either one.
I was handed a controller and said, "Here, you're the radioactive zombie that's punching people." And I was like, "I'm sold."
Yeah. Which I still don't know why those haven't come out on the iOS.
Right?
It's made for it. But anyway, though.
Can be a radioactive
Fallout New Vegas. I absolutely love it. I fell in love with Fallout 3. It got repetitive. Fallout New Vegas has multiple storylines. It brought back the multiple endings that are in a Fallout world.
Yeah.
So there's reasons to keep playing it.
I was sat down by my roommate and handed a controller and said, "Here, you're playing this." And he handed me Fallout 3, and I played, I don't know, what did I tell you, 75 hours, and I never finished the game because it did become repetitive. And unfortunately, or fortunately, depending, my roommate got all of the downloadable content, which added like 4 sets of quests that really just take more time than they really ought to. But it was fun, and I really had a blast. So I don't know, there was like a 2 or 3 month period where I didn't play any Fallout, and I played New Vegas because he had that too.
And I didn't see you for a while.
You saw me. I was sitting right there on that couch.
Only when I came over to visit.
It's a different storyline. It's a different feel. They really grab. Clearly, it's near Vegas.
Yes.
No spoilers there.
No.
But it really grabs the feel of the Southwest, I think.
Yeah, and it follows the first 2 storylines a lot better than the other one.
Yeah, I think the
Brotherhood
first 2,
of Steel's what they should be. They're not quite nice.
The first 2 storylines are set in like California area, and then Fallout 3 is set in DC.
Yeah, and then they really change things too. Like the Brotherhood of Steel, they completely retcon them into something that they're not.
Yeah, well,
but it was still a fun game. It was a good story, but this is a better story because there's more stories to it.
Yeah, and I think the only reason I haven't finished Fallout New Vegas is there's a little game I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with called WoW. World of Warcraft, and let's just say that when we'll get to that here in a minute. We'll get to that. So all right, so that kind of wraps up this year what we've been playing. Let's talk about that wraps up last year what we've been playing. Let's talk about this year. Sorry, it's still too new in the year. So Jesse, it says Twilight Imperium. Have you not played Twilight Imperium?
I have not played Twilight Imperium. I have heard so much about Twilight Imperium.
Do you have a 6-hour period to set the game up?
I have heard it takes a long time.
You know, honestly, the game was not that bad.
The second time we played...
I didn't play a second time.
Well, yeah. Are you sure? I thought we played... Okay, well, we played through once. A friend of mine owns it because he, loves Fantasy Flight, so he bought their flagship game.
Yeah, well, so speaking of $100 games, this one's like $180 for the base game.
And then there are 2 expansions now.
And they're $60 a piece.
Yeah.
And let me say, the game is beautiful.
Yes.
There's, I don't know, 30, 40 races. that you can play?
I think it's.
I think after
quite a few.
I think after the expansions. I haven't seen either of the expansions out of the box yet. But
we played the first one.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, we did the first time.
Oh, okay.
We at least had the races out of them.
Okay. Well,
so, but it's really nice. Looking.
It's a fun game.
It's supposed to tell a story every time, basically. I mean, it's like
in a way
it does.
I mean,
the
goal is essentially to conquer the galaxy with your race.
Sort of, yeah.
In a way, it's that quote European game where you're looking for victory points, not necessarily getting to the end of the game or conquering the whole map. You just need victory points to win. So if your race is merchants and has a merchant bent, you can never have a fight with anybody and still get victory points. But then the majority of the game is about conflict with other players. But you get to set up your galaxy every time you play.
Yeah, it's a brand new galaxy every time.
You out you hand out the tiles differently, so your galaxy will look different.
And it's different. Like there are a lot of different things going on at the same time.
Yeah.
So you can do a bunch of different things, and somebody can be winning and you not even realize it.
Yeah.
I think that's what crept on us is that Clinton caught us off guard and suddenly won.
Well,
last year.
we undervalued one aspect of gaining the victory point, thinking that battling was more important, and I think, wasn't it just going first? Like he accomplished something.
No, it was the politics.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. So anyway, it's too complicated to get into.
Yeah.
It's a game I want to play. I can get a copy for $50. It seems like a great deal. It's online. I can give you the link later.
Okay, yeah.
But
Let's do that.
Still one of those sort of things that I don't know if I want to own a game. I will probably only play once.
Oh,
no matter how much I like it.
You mean like Fortune and Glory?
We play it quite often.
I would play Twilight Imperium more than I would play Fortune and Glory.
Really? Okay, good. Then I'll probably wind up getting it because I've heard horror stories of if there's more than one new person, it taking like 10 hours to play.
See, that's what I was going to try. That's what I was trying to get to. I got distracted.
7 hours?
Yeah, the first time it took us like 7 hours.
And no one had played it.
And no one had even read the rules, apparently.
I had. As
like
confusing
months
as they
before.
were, yeah.
Months before.
I heard the rule book's kind of like a novel.
It's a little bit, not bad, not horrible.
Fantasy Flight has a bad habit of not organizing their books the way I would choose to organize them if I were in charge, but
They also seem to have a large stockpile of cardboard.
They do. The other problem with Fantasy Flight is they don't index their book.
Yeah.
So
at all.
There are keywords throughout the game that if they would just put an index, two pages extra in the book with an index on it.
Oh, that's expensive for printing. They would have to take away from the 30,000 cards they printed for every game,
or add another $2 to $8 on the book, on the cost. Indexes, Fantasy Flight. If you hear this. Indexes. They are your friend.
So right after Mark Spagnola hears this, he's going to forward it on to Fantasy.
Hey, we might make contacts at Gen Con or something. I mean, we are in the home of Gen Con here in Indianapolis.
We're in where it gets done in the States because there's still a Gen Con in Europe, I believe.
I don't think so, is there?
Yeah, and the home of Gen Con is still the Northwest.
Well, okay.
So.
Yes, Fantasy Flight. Twilight Imperium. Definitely worth it, but long.
So, Shirley, I hear you have an addiction and a problem.
Yes, my name is Shirley, and I'm addicted to WoW as a new player for what? How many months?
WoW's an anagram for what game again?
World of Warcraft.
I'm pretty sure that you started playing back in like October.
Yeah, not very long ago.
Let's just screw up the recording there, Jesse. Jeepers.
Thank you for breaking
Snuffleupagus.
breaking my table.
So I think you started playing back in October, right after Mista Pandaria came out.
Yeah, right after Mista Pandaria came out. I mean, this is everything that I love about Dungeons and Dragons, but in addition to, I get to be the character. You know,
you get to see it.
I get, actually.
Because I would argue that there are flaws with it, but
See, I guess when I go into something that I enjoy, I can see the flaws, but I don't necessarily look for them or even recognize them because I'm concentrating on so much of what I enjoy about the game. What the mother?
Oh, Johnny's just
He's laughing because I opened a soda.
Jesse's not ninja kicking the table. Johnny's opening 35 sodas. We're fine. Well, and I think Shirley has a very delightful ability to rose-colored glasses stuff. Not in a bad way, though.
No, not a lot. I always try to see the brighter side.
Well, but my take on this is, I enjoy several aspects of games. One of the things I liked about Fallout is the exploration aspect, which WoW has and always has had.
Yeah.
I also like killing stuff, which most games have, but we'll skip that over that. I like exploring things, just like I like exploring things in Pokemon. I like taking little critters and making them fight for me, like in Pokemon. And now, with this new expansion, you can do that. I like monks and pandas.
Okay,
and with this,
hold on. No. I thought I was supposed to be talking about what I liked about WoW.
So with this new expansion, I can play a monk and a panda, or a panda monk. That's awesome.
And you can catch them all.
And I can catch them all. And there's a lot of extra stuff going on. And I found that really what the game comes down to for me is there are several games there that I can play, and if I get bored with one aspect of it, I can just switch. So if I get tired of playing Pokemon, or pet battling as they call it, I can go craft a bunch of crap. Or go look for stuff to craft, or go look for stuff to craft, or go play around in the auction house, or go try and figure out where this new pet's going to come from, and then get one of my friends in the guild that I'm in to go run me through a dungeon to get some new pets. And if I get tired with that, I can go run some dailies to get my run some daily quests to get my reputation up with a group so I can get a new pet. I have a problem. It's not my fault.
Okay, so
I didn't spend $10 on a pet.
Addiction here?
Well, yeah.
Hold on,
and then
that was for a good cause.
Yeah, there's a until the end of the year there was a Cinder Kitten available. You spent $10, you get this pet, but all that money went to Hurricane Sandy victims.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah,
that's
and
cool.
The kitten is adorable.
I've
you'll be fighting with it, and it's like
roll around,
rolling over, trying to get its tail, and it chases itself, and the other pet's like attacking it, and it's like, no, my tail! Did you see that? It's really cute. But if I get tired with that, I can actually play the actual game of WoW where you go and level up your character. So I've been playing since September. No, I've been playing since August.
Yeah,
early
but you've
August.
been playing longer than that.
Well, my brother got me into it really hard in August again. I have not played nearly this much ever.
Well, had you ever had an active account before?
Yeah,
okay.
On and off.
Yeah.
I'd hit like level 40-ish in the Burning Crusade period.
Okay.
So prior to when Lich King came out, so it's been 4 or 5 years ago. Jesse, you played WoW.
Yeah, I've
the last.
Speaking
4
of addictions, I have just found a horrible statistic in the fact that I have been playing this game for 7 years now.
Oh my god!
So since release,
the year before release.
Oh,
yeah,
or
year after.
You've been playing it the year before release.
Exactly, but no,
it's only been out for 7 years.
No, 8 years was their.
I was wrong.
Their 8th year anniversary.
A year after.
Yeah. Well, and one of the other things I found with WoW is they have events. So in October, I went to Brewfest and got a Whopper Tinkle, which is a jackalope.
Yeah.
So
a winged
jackalope, and a little pink pachyderm, a pink elephant that follows me around.
I could not find you needed like 5 things to get that?
I don't remember.
I was one short.
The thing is, what I would like to know is how you guys know this stuff.
Wowhead.
Okay.
Wowhead.com.
Like, I don't know that.
www.head.com.
Well, the pink pachyderm one was just one of the quests that the vendors gave you.
Well, and so we did that.
And the bunny.
And then in November there was the fall harvest or whatever.
Yeah.
Where I took my panda from 15 cooking to 315 cooking in a day.
How did you do that?
There's a whole lot of quests that involve cooking and really raise it up quickly.
Really?
I'll show you how to do it next November.
It's well worth it.
And then in December we did the winter quests, the winter stuff
Veil.
where we just got free pets. And then every month there's a Dark Moon Fair for a week.
Yep.
Coming up's the Light Festival.
No.
Yep.
Elder something festival. Yeah.
And then there's the Love one, and then Children's Week is in April. And
There's something just
not that I've been looking, because pets are available Children's Week that you can only get then, and I'm tired of stealing Wolvar pups for these stupid walruses.
What?
It's a daily quest at 75-ish.
Yeah,
in Northrend.
They say they're saving them, but they're a starving race out of food. They send you to go catch the pups.
So
in
they're the
race.
walruses from Alice in Wonderland.
Kind of. They haven't shoved them in a bag, so you're doing it for the pups' good.
So you go and kill the den mother, steal 3 Wolvar pups, and then run back with 12 Wolvar pups, and you get rep. And the reputation is important because you can get a penguin from them, a penguin pet that you can only get from them, and I want this penguin.
And what I would state is a slightly mature
motivated.
fishing
pole. Oh, well, I don't fish, so yeah.
I love fishing. Okay, by the way, like I've heard people complain about, I've seen people complain.
She's
about
heard because
fishing.
I've complained about fishing. It's horrible.
Yeah, you complain, and they complain about doing their dailies and things like that. And I don't sitting there seeing what I can find.
I know what a daily is, but I don't.
It's a blue exclamation mark.
Yeah, I don't.
It's a quest that you do the exact.
Right,
generally the exact same thing.
It's a way to get a reputation up.
Well, and at higher levels, there are things you can only get by having exalted reputation with a group, and you can only get that by doing dailies.
Well, that's the only reason I would do them.
You play on a laptop, right?
Oh, yeah.
If you turn your volume up real loud on game and you fish, it makes a sound. You could also watch TV. That's what I do.
You fish and watch TV.
I fish and watch TV. It makes a sound. I right click. I cast.
Splash, and then click.
Yep. And then I go back to watching.
I just realized I haven't done my dailies today, and it's about an hour and a half. No, my server resets on Central Time. I have an hour and a half.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
So anyway, yeah, WoW.
Yeah.
Do you like WoW a little?
I love WoW. And the new character that I just built, up to 15th level over the past 2 days, is my rogue. Human rogue.
She told me yesterday that she was going to power level so we could all play together tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I'm like
this is my favorite class by far.
So,
I had a shaman, hunter.
Rogue was my main for quite a while.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm like, okay, that means you have to play hard, right? So earlier today, she was doing, oh, look, there's a pet, I'm going to go battle it. No, that's not leveling your character. That's not leveling your character.
I don't have a chicken.
I don't have a chicken. Oh my God.
So I don't have a chicken.
So again, I find myself playing devil's advocate. My complaint with WoW, and this is where I like D&D a lot. My complaint with WoW. What?
Go ahead. I'm just waiting to rebuttal.
No,
Go ahead.
Again, this is. I mean, aside from the grind of going and finding your materials to build your stuff, I hate that my character looks exactly like every other gnome or goblin that I run into.
Hold on, you can change the facial features, right?
Yeah, but you can't change them.
But his point is, at 25th level, his gnome warlock looks very similar to every other 25th level gnome warlock.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll get worse if you use pass-me-down gear on top of it, because your pass-me-down gear, everybody uses pass-me-down gear.
What the crap is...
Yeah, when you get max level, you can buy gear that's account-bound, and you can pass it down. It starts off at level 1 and levels up with your character, continually getting better. It also gives you like a 10% experience boost.
And,
so are you saying what they're wearing or what their facial
what they're wearing,
features?
all that. Yeah. There's like 8 to 10 choices on facial features, 8 to 10 choices on hair. The goblins have it the best, in my opinion, goblins and pandas, because the goblins, you get different noses and different ears and different earrings, and those are actually visible from a distance.
Yeah,
Maybe
and the pandas change.
Those are the new races, and they are actually going to re-up some of the races. I've heard they're doing dwarves next.
I love the place.
I understand.
They are re-rendering everything. They started with pets, with the animals that you can catch as pets, and then they did the battle pets before that, and then they're going to start doing races one at a time.
And I mean, it's
the orcs kind of simultaneously. I think so. That
it's, if limitations of technology, I understand.
Well, and you're also running on an 8-year-old engine.
Yes. And like I said, they shut it down recently, but they had City of Heroes to compare it to. I know, I miss City of Heroes too. And then also Champions Online, I believe, is still running.
Champions Online is still running, so is DC Online, which has some of the customization. Not all
DC has not great customization. But again, we're talking... World of Warcraft is a fantasy-based game where you wear leather armor and plate mail and that stuff, and I get why that's limited. In Champions Online, you can buy the same shirt as the next guy down the street, but because you are designing your character, your colors could be orange and yellow, and his colors will be black and blue.
Oh,
to me, it's enough. It's just enough variety. I mean, like if you buy accessories like wings and swords, they're all the same. So you see the same guy using the same sword.
If it makes you feel any better, when you get to higher levels, there's void storage.
Not just void storage, but there's also
what is void storage?
There's the ability to transmute items.
Yes, you talked about that before. And like I said, it's not the end of the world. I still like playing.
So your 70th level warlock will look like all the other 25 level warlocks because you changed it all back.
Well, if you go through the level 60 raid, which is easily ran, you'll actually be able to have horns and not look like you're wearing a helmet. It'll just look like you have demon horns growing out of your head.
Warlock already has horns because I kill so much stuff. He just grows purple horns.
Yeah, but they're not there all the
time.
Yeah.
A demonologist.
All right, so I know we have a love for WoW, but let's move on. Let's look at Castle. Castle from Steve Jackson Games, John.
Oh, yeah. So this game is not out yet, but we previewed it at Gen Con, my wife and I, and it was awesome. If you're familiar with dots, where you have a grid of dots on the board, you'll get Castle pretty quick. In dots, you have a grid of dots. You draw a line. You try to make a box. When you complete a box, you put your little initial in there, and you get a point for that. Castle, if I'm remembering the name correctly, because I looked online and now I'm not even sure that's the name. You have walls and towers, and you work with your opponent to. Castilian. Castilian, thank you. I looked and couldn't find it. But you get 110 plastic castle pieces being towers and walls, and 28 cards. And basically you're building walls of various lengths. You get points based on how many towers are connecting those walls. It's going to be a really quick, fun game.
Is it out yet?
No, they they were. What I was told by the guy who demoed it for us was that they are working on their tank game that is eluding me. Ogre. Yeah, they're doing Ogre right now, focused on that. So this should see us.
It says it's in 2013.
Yeah, this should see a spring, early summer release. It's going to be small and quick, and the box is going to be, going to have everything you need. They're doing one set, and the initial release is going to be 2-player only, and there will be a European set with different colors. So eventually, when it all comes out, you'll be able to play up to 4 players at a time, and all will be well. What are you guys doing? Okay, anyway.
We were trying to be all ninja-like until you pointed out what we were doing.
Well, you're sitting there waving your hands in front of me. So, Castilian, it's fun, and it's quick, and it's, Steve Jackson Games make a good product. Date? They don't have an official one. They're
still in production.
Well, they
were focused on an Ogre.
Ogre is supposed to be in production, I think, by June. Like full everything out to production.
So, I wanted to talk about this too. I was wondering, does every game or publisher or something like that have Kickstarters?
No,
not every, but it's very
some
popular.
Do. Some do, but not all of
them. The reason why I was asking is I came across this game by the Mage Company called 12 Realms.
Yeah, you emailed.
Oh my gosh! Did you guys look at the art?
I haven't had a chance.
It looks good.
I'm a miniatures freak, and if you do one of the Kickstarters, you get all of the miniatures that come with that are for the game, and I was just amazed by some of the art that was on the boards, and you get different maps and everything with it. So.
Yeah,
that's my plug for
nice.
Mage Company and 12 Realms.
But the whole thing with Kickstarters, it's more for a way for independent companies to get their legs up. Steve Jackson has done a game on there, but personally it feels kind of grating when somebody has enough money to produce a game.
It's specifically to make sure, actually I think they did Ogre on
there.
They did Ogre.
It's to see if they're going to get the fan response they need to make a game.
Yeah.
But
it's Steve Jackson's games. Anything they make will have the fan response.
But Reaper Mini.
I know.
Which, by the way, that Reaper Mini was kind of awesome. I wish I would have been able to turn it.
It just kind of grates under my gears.
The thing about Ogre is it had come out before.
Yeah.
And they were revamping and re-releasing it, and I believe they ended up, because they got such support from the Kickstarter, they went with actual models, whereas they'd originally talked about paper or cardboard cards.
Yeah, that was the original idea.
So it was, if it got funded at one level, it would be the cards, and then it went all the way to full minis of the tanks with articulated parts, if I remember correctly.
Wow, that's cool.
So, I'm fine with certain levels. I agree. If they were to try to kickstart a Munchkin expansion, I'd call BS on that. But that level of a project where the game is going to be a couple $100 to get the base set.
Yeah, I believe it's like 150 is what they're looking at right now for the base set.
But you do get quality product if everything I've been led to believe.
And the box is huge, like size of this table.
Yeah,
huge.
yeah.
So it's all about the size of the box.
Yes.
Which game?
Yeah, Ogre. The tank game.
Yeah.
So Castilian is going to be. yes, I screwed it up. Castilian is going to be the size of 2 decks, like 4 decks of cards stacked together.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ogre is, again, this table that we're sitting at, huge. Castilian, they didn't kickstart that. They're going to make it when they're done when they get Ogre up and running. So,
okay. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up games, because we are big gamers, so we could talk about that all night. But we'll go ahead and move on to apps, and I will start with Evernote. We're going to move away from nerdy gaming stuff and podcasts like that
for a minute
to productivity. Evernote is an app that also has a web-based program for PC users. There's also an app on the iOS store for Lion and Mountain Lion for your Apple computers, and you can get it on any kind of Android or iOS device. It allows you to have some sort of word processing document that syncs across all of your platforms, which I find really useful for things like shopping lists, which I use today. I write a lot of my reviews for the site in Evernote, and then I have them saved for forever because they're tiny little documents. It also lets you put in pictures and audio and I believe video that you then can share across. So it's really helpful if you're like me, I have a work computer, I have a work laptop, I have my home laptop, I have my phone, and one day, if I'm very, very lucky, I'm going to have an iPad or an iPod, or an iPad or an iPad mini, or some other sort of tablet that I can port it to as well. What?
Nothing, just you rambling on about
I
love this, I that.
Yeah, well,
I think they're worth rambling about, unlike Droid products.
Well, hey, let's not. No, we all love Droid, even though Johnny's wrong for not loving iPhones.
I don't dislike iPhones. I've just never had one. So if somebody wants to give me one,
do you want to trade?
Yeah.
No,
I will take your Galaxy
focus.
for my iPhone.
No.
So Evernote, I think Evernote is really, really helpful. It also allows you to email your documents directly, so that's kind of nice because Jesse's emailed me a couple.
Somebody forced me to download it, which I had it downloaded before, but you have to sign in and create an account.
Oh no!
And I have a problem with creating accounts for apps I download. I've downloaded the app already. It is me. It's on my iPad. Why do I have to create an account?
So you can sign on the web.
But
I don't want to put it on the web. I just want to use it on this. It's too much work. It's gone. I could find something that doesn't force me to.
But once you're signed up and signed in on your mobile device, aren't you always signed in on your mobile device?
You are, but you do have to sign in the first time.
Oh God! Just end his suffering now, Lord.
Exactly.
1, 2, 3 sculpt.
1, 2, 3 sculpt.
1, 2, 3 D.
1, 2, 3 D sculpt. There is a D there. I always forget the D as well. It's an app that. That's why it's the app section.
Oh, really? So we're in the app section, and we're going to talk about what, Jesse?
Apps. Yes. Anyway, 1, 2, 3 D sculpt, and I'm stalling here.
So I hear it's an art program.
What it is it's an art program. It's a sculpting program.
Wait, it's an app that you sculpt with?
It's an app that you sculpt. That's why it's called Sculpt.
You virtually sculpt
That's not it.
That's not it at all.
Jeez.
Anyway, it's an app that you sculpt with. It is... If you've ever used ZBrush, this is a very watered-down version of ZBrush on the iOS. You can take it with you. It has a steep learning curve, even though this is a limited tool set. But once you've learned it, you've learned it. There's like 6 tools you work with.
Okay.
You have like 6 different preset.
Talk.
So what? So okay. So
It's a sculpting program that you manipulate the little object that you're trying to sculpt around.
So it's a 3D editing.
so it's a 3D
One
modeling.
could say it is a 1, 2, 3D.
It's a 1, 2, 3D modeling program.
Yes.
Editor.
So I mean,
If you've ever wanted to use it, it's $1.99. It's a little expensive. At least I feel. Hey, I don't like paying for my apps, just like I don't like signing in for things.
Signing in and paying. Jesse's limit.
But
but I mean, what is the end product?
but it did let me know that I wanted ZBrush beforehand, and ZBrush
Which
is
is
a
more expensive.
$699 program.
Oh,
Wow.
I have invested in ZBrush because of this, and I absolutely love both. ZBrush has a crap ton more of
I hope so.
but okay.
a
So
whole
what
lot
is-
more tools.
So what is the
But-
end product that you develop with 1, 2, 3D Sculpt and ZBrush?
They're
Is
3D renderings of objects. You start with a base, and then you add to it, or
Okay.
you subtract to it. So you could
So-
turn a standard human head into whatever you want to. You can make a superhero mask. You can make an elf. You could make a steampunk thingy.
So, but I mean, is it the end product is like the 3D art
Yes.
that you see on
Animation.
DeviantArt and
Along the lines, yes.
along those lines.
ZBrush is the sort of tool that they use for games like Saint Row the Third and things.
So you model the character.
You model your
and
character and
Send
then
that
you
into the animation program.
Yes.
Okay. So, see, I'm a
Like Pixar?
yes, along those lines.
There's nothing you could really do with this app that you would want to send to something like that.
But
But
it's
this
great
app will
for-
say if you want to buy the program that you would then want to do, that you would send into that kind of place.
So if you want to spend $1.99 to make sure you want to spend $700.
Yes.
Hey, I think that
If
sounds
you don't
completely
like
reasonable.
this, you won't like ZBrush.
Right.
And there's no reason paying $700 and saying, I don't like this after all.
Oh yeah, no, I totally that makes sense to me. But I'm a 2D guy. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you're still working on a 2D plane.
No, yeah, I get that.
technically.
I get that. But you
Yeah.
know, I mean, because I don't know. I don't like the look of some of the art that I see, but then other art I do. I mean,
Yeah.
And I don't know. We could talk about this for
I
hours.
really
you and
like
I.
the app, but then again, my major is fine art sculpting. I like
right.
sculpting.
So, but I mean, you know, like there's a couple 3D artists that pop up on my when I go to DeviantArt and look at the galleries, and they talk about how hard something was to do.
Yeah.
But I look at their gallery and I see that this particular model that they've worked with pretty much just looks like the last model they used, just in a different position. So like their complaints sort of like I don't know anything about it.
Yeah.
Creating 3D in this program. I don't know the first thing about it. But when you go, oh, this was difficult, blah blah blah, this and that, and I'm like, it looks like you just took that thing you did before and moved it around a little bit,
and
you're doing this, and you're taking
kind
a
of
picture
is.
of it.
All of it is based around pre-done models.
Right, but you can
But
texture and
texture
color and
change.
paint and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So that's fine. But like I said, this was, to be specific, this was a warrior chick in chainmail bikini, and
The best
she
kind
was
of warrior chick.
she was standing with her foot up on a dragon skull that she had just killed, and in the next picture she was sitting on a throne. And I'm like, well, how much work did you really have to do? Because
To make her sit down.
to make her sit down, like that
Yeah.
doesn't seem like a whole lot. The the background and everything else that she was in, touching and was in the image, I get, but he was talking about the model, and I'm like, it's the same model, just she bent her
And it
knees.
is. With ZBrush, you can actually move
Yeah,
the things around. But
Yeah, we can
it's
talk
a great
about
app.
this
It's a
later,
great
'cause
app.
I
enjoy
I wanna
it.
check
I
it
think
out.
it's only on the iOS.
well, I still want to check it out, but
All right. Well,
moving on.
So, Comixology It's my next
Yours?
app.
Oh, okay.
Because unless you guys want to talk about it, but some of us don't have it on anything.
I like
I got it. I
Comixology.
just don't use it.
Comixology is the only way I read comics.
Oh yeah, Comixology is awesome.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Anyway.
I recently was allowed by my wonderful girlfriend to use her Kindle Fire to read my comics.
It's our Kindle Fire. You made that clearly.
For this 5 minutes,
aware
it's our
of
Kindle
us.
Fire. 10 minutes from now, that might change. So I've had Comixology for probably almost a year, and I bought everything on my phone. And read it on my phone, and it was fine because Comixology does this thing called guided view, where they take you part by part where the artist and writer should have wanted you to go.
Yeah.
And I like it. That was fine.
On the phone, it's great.
On the phone, it's great.
I don't like it.
I don't like it on the Kindle Fire because I can read the whole page then, and I like that. That's my standard. But either way, the comics look beautiful. And maybe it's just the screen resolution on the Kindle Fire HD. I really like the way they look. I can read everything. If I can't read it, I can zoom. The stories are still good. The prices, when I catch them right, can be really good. Otherwise, they're still pretty all right. I bought a lot. I was surprised by how much I bought. I bought probably 100 comics over the last year, and I don't buy every week. I buy sparingly. And then I went and spent probably $30 on finishing out a series, and I finally have all of Avengers vs. X-Men.
Nice.
So that was really worth it too. So it's really a good program. I'm rereading stuff again just because I liked the story the first time, and now I can see the pictures in a better way. So
I've got 6 short boxes up in my closet that I can't even get into. And don't want to get into because, as I mentioned before, I have a 4-year-old, and she will tear up anything I leave laying out. So, I wish I had the money to spend on Comixology.
Yeah.
And a device bigger than what do I have, like a 2-inch screen on my phone.
Yeah.
I don't like it on the phone. Sorry. I mean, if I had an iPad,
Yeah.
I'd be all about it.
I read them on the phone because I wanted to read comics.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to buy a comic book.
If I had like an iPad and couldn't get it out, and then but could get my phone out, I would do that.
Yeah.
But without the larger format device, I'm not interested in it at the moment.
The thing I love about Comixology is the fact that while I'm on lunch break, I look like I'm being productive on my iPad when I'm actually just reading a comic.
Yeah, I've done that with my phone where I look like I'm being productive on my phone at work, but they're like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm reading a comic book. Ha
Comixology makes you look productive.
Exactly.
How does it... when you have your phone out, like in my work, having your phone out is not being productive.
It's still better than a comic book.
Depending on the day that my boss is in, it can be productive.
Oh, okay.
Or depending on who's doing it, so not me. So, all right, I really like Comixology. So, Shirley... Do you like cryptids?
Yeah, cryptids. The Legend of Cryptids. Love the... Jesse does not like this game. I don't know why he doesn't.
I had a bad experience with it maybe when I started. I don't know.
I think you need to re-download
Did it touch you in your no-no spot?
I think it's a great RPG TCG game, which is role-playing trading card game.
So what role-playing do you do in this?
But
there's battles.
Things. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, there's battles and there's forums that you can go into. There's...
Is this the game where the cards evolve if you have multiple copies of the same card?
If you have multiple copies of the same card, it evolves.
Is there?
Yeah.
They evolve. But some of the art on these cards are amazing. It's just gorgeous and beautiful, and that's why I like it.
The artwork is great. That's why I downloaded it to try it. I'm glad it was free.
Yeah, and that was not that big of a deal. I think if it was $1.99
I would have been disappointed.
I wouldn't have. I think I definitely would have went for it because I'm a huge art fan. So, and being able to get in there and evolve the cards and make them into, you just want to get in there and see what kind of art is going to pop up when you evolve the cards. There's over 300 cards in the deck in every deck that you collect, and they're based off of the elements like earth, air, fire, and water.
What about heart?
What about
If
heart?
we learned anything from Captain Planet, heart is an
Spirit. It's not heart. Whatever.
Spirit, like in the Wheel of Time.
Yeah. There you go. And it's available for all operating systems on all phones and most platforms.
Include Windows? Is it available
No,
on Windows phones?
it's just a phone app.
Well, they have Windows phones.
Is anything available for
Android
Windows
and iOS.
phones?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Netflix.
So Netflix. So that's what you get your cards. You train them to do battles. You build up your defense line, your attack line, and you go and you have battles with the other card players. You can trade, and you can collect all of one kind or several different kinds. What I don't like about it is I think there's a paid version where you can collect more cards, but you can only have up to 50 cards in your deck and the free version. So once you get up to a certain amount, it starts warning you that you have, getting close to 50, and you have to either evolve them or enhance them or trade them or, drop them or sell them. So, but that's Legend of Cryptids. The other apps that I really liked this year were something that I just downloaded because we got our Fire for Christmas. Is Gnome Village by Disney. It's kind of like Farmville.
Yeah, it's Farmville with gnomes from Disney.
Okay,
all right.
That's what he says. But you start with this little gnome. You're either a girl or a boy. You get to choose, and
choices are always good.
There are already too many choices. I don't like this app.
Oh my god! And then you run around and you have to start clearing away all the evil forest that the evil gnome king left behind, and then you find the caged animals and you set them free, and they help you build your town and free the other animals and stuff. And then another app that I really liked this year was Dragon Vale. It's kind of like Gnome Village. Maybe I just like building stuff.
Oh,
I don't know.
They're both click and wait kind of games, right?
Yeah.
I don't tend to like click and wait games.
The good news is, I forgot this when we were talking about WoW. When you get to 90,
Oh my god!
it's Farmville.
It is, yes.
What?
You have to plant your stuff to grow it,
Oh, yeah.
farm it, to cook it.
Scott Kurtz did a joke
Wow.
about that.
So
That's
so
hilarious.
so not only you get Pokemon, you also get Farmville.
Yes.
Wow.
There
I
you
can just
go.
drop Facebook and live on WoW.
Ta-da!
So there you go. And then Dragonville is about dragon parks. You hatch all these different kind of dragons, and then you can breed them to get rare and different kind of dragons while building your park. I've got 4 islands and 2 breeding parks, so that I can breed as many dragons as I want.
I've tried the game. I've downloaded it.
Yeah.
It seems interesting,
Yeah.
but there's
It's
more
a lot
interesting
of-
things to play, so I can play something
it's a
else.
lot. It's a lot of upkeep. It's
Yeah.
like a simple-minded game,
It's a click
and it's
and
a
wait.
lot of it's a lot of upkeep. So if you're not really interested in games that you have to upkeep a lot, then probably wouldn't be interested in that. But those are a few of the apps that I like this year.
Well, I'm downloading Gnome
Jesse?
Village now, so I'll try it.
Jesse, what about
There you
Tapped
go.
Out?
Tapped
Hey.
Out. Well, Tapped Out's a click and wait game.
It is.
They don't really...
Chris.
Oh my god!
And it's The Simpsons, which is something that I lost interest in 7 years ago. So there's no reason I should like this app. Yet I absolutely love it.
Except Simpsons has gotten better.
Has it?
That's what I keep hearing.
That's what I keep hearing, but I haven't tried it.
You
But
should
it
try
might, because I like the app.
Yeah.
The app makes fun of Farmville.
Simpsons,
Almost, it's called Tapped Out.
Cartoon.
Yes.
Okay.
Is there any other Simpsons?
Well, I don't know because you guys were talking
Like
about
OJ
it like there
or-
would have been different.
The O.J. Simpsons game.
Oh,
I think that's called
no.
Stabbed Out, isn't it? Yeah, I went there.
Too soon.
Too soon? Too soon? Yeah.
soon.
Oh, well.
Anyway, Tapped Out is a click and wait game based on The Simpsons. It's by EA. It has a freemium feature. You can buy donuts. Is your premium coin?
Donuts.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's your
donuts
premium
are money in
coin.
the Simpsons verse.
Yes.
That's a common thing.
But if you like click and wait games, this is a great click and wait game. It's got a great sense of humor. It's constantly making fun of other click and wait games, which
Why
is
is it
why I
called
think
Tapped Out?
because you keep tapping. And you keep
Oh.
tapping. Apparently there was a Simpsons episode where Homer was making fun of people who played Farmville on iPads.
And he was wrestling.
no.
No, because he was
Tapped
tapping.
out.
Tapped Out is also a wrestling term.
Term.
People still watch wrestling?
What?
Yes.
Oh my
All right.
Sorry,
so moving on. Moving on to
Okay,
apps.
real quick,
Yeah.
just
So,
because you
hold
never
on.
said what do you farm?
What it is Homer does something stupid, the entire world gets nuked. He survives.
What?
The little science guy comes in from an alternate dimension. So you're clicking and you're rebuilding
the guy
Springfield.
that took care of the old gay guy?
What? No,
I think
not
that's
the
South Park.
scientist.
No.
That's wow. It has been a long time.
What's his name?
No, whatever. The guy sounds like.
Okay, so
anyway.
The science
rebuilding.
guy. You're rebuilding Springfield in the way that you feel like Springfield should have been built originally.
Okay.
So
as you build, you unlock more characters. The first character unlocks Lisa. She does things also.
Oh, cool.
Okay.
And
At
as
least
you
we're going to have an art school.
Things.
Jeez Louise.
Okay.
Liberal arts.
So moving on from
All
that
right,
game.
so Jesse, I guess Topia.
Oh yeah, this is the next year thing, isn't it?
Yeah, you were showing me. So
Topia is a real fun terraforming game. Basically, you get to build a world. You can set little animals to run around on it. They can breed, and they make lots of more little animals. And then you can put these little vicious animals that will kill all of them, and eventually kill them all.
So it's like Spore?
So
Kind of. It's more like the old Populous game from way.
Oh yeah, it
back.
is. Now that you said that, it is very much like Populous.
But you build this great world, and you can't save it. There's no save feature whatsoever in the game. There's no.
So you know that you're never going to save this world.
Exactly. There's no save feature.
Save, like, stop playing and come
when
back
you
to
come
it
back
later.
to it later, you have to start over from square one.
What?
Yeah, there's so much missing from this game that I feel next year through updates, they'll make it better.
It seems
hope so.
odd.
It does. I think they just
cool.
kind of push it out there. I still enjoy it because you're moving things around.
Yeah, but I mean, if, like I'll
Oh,
start a
like the
game
whole-
and like somebody will interrupt me 10 minutes
Making
later.
all these animals.
Yes, and if you put your device to sleep, you wake your device back up, and your world's gone. You're starting over from square one.
Not interested.
Yeah,
Fix that.
The visually, it's really nice. I have to say that.
It is.
Yeah, but if I can't, I mean, like the original Sims, they would live their life while you were away from the computer.
Yeah.
Or like when you relaunched the program, the computer would decide what randomly happened while you were gone, and that was fine. But at least they didn't die and vanish and lose their jobs while you weren't. I mean, you didn't come back.
It
to
would be
nothing.
more like they never existed in the first place.
Yeah, like
dying would be an improvement.
All right. Well, so that's what apps look like for the next year. Apps are kind of hard to follow since we don't know quite what's coming up.
And they come out like every.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll wrap that up
Very
for right now, and then we'll move on to movies. So I guess we're moving on to movies. That's the next category. I think that all four of us can agree that the best movie of the year, by far, was not Dark Knight Rises. Was Avengers.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Avengers
so
was
if
good,
you want
but
to
it
hear,
wasn't my
if you want to
favorite.
see our opinion on Batman, three of us wrote reactions.
Two of us.
Two of us.
thought
I never got around to it. I'm a
Okay.
busy man.
Two of us wrote
Well,
reactionary
let's start.
articles to it.
Let's start with Avengers.
Yes.
So Avengers was amazing.
It was.
It was a great action story.
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Pulling 5 other movies together.
5.
That sounds right.
America, Thor,
Iron Man, Incredible Hulk,
Incredible Hulk.
Iron Man. 2. Yeah.
Well, okay,
Iron
yes.
Man is one person, though.
But there are 2 movies, making it 5 movies.
Oh, good night.
Anyway,
I can count to 5.
Anyway.
I have all 5 fingers on one hand. So
But
I
not the
thought
other.
it was really well done, really well paced, really well written.
There were so many
Directed.
Hulk movies with different actors in it.
There
So
there were 2.
There
There
were
were
3.
There were
Three.
5.
Three.
5.
5.
Fortnite was in 3.
Oh, no, those
Yeah.
don't
No,
count.
So
you can't
technically
go back
it's
to
tying
original.
in 10 movies?
No,
No.
It's,
Oh, good
it's really only
night.
tying in one of the Hulks because the other one doesn't count.
Technically they
Yeah.
didn't tie in any of the Hulks because he's a completely new person.
Anyway,
Yes.
So I really enjoyed Avengers, and
Yes.
it won me the movie summer movie draft.
Yes.
It was a good one.
By far.
yeah, to the point where there was no competition.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jasmine was next behind me, and she was like 200 million behind or something
yeah,
ridiculous.
Wow.
I hit 4 good movies.
Yeah.
So, no, you guys don't think it was the best?
It
No,
wasn't
I
the
did.
best. I enjoyed the movie, but it wasn't the best movie of the year.
Well, it was.
Yeah.
The best movie of the year was Moonrise Kingdom in my book.
Moonrise or Moonlight?
Moonrise. It is Moonrise Kingdom.
Did you?
I'm sure it is.
It is on his Wikipedia page.
It is on Wikipedia.
So, Moonrise Kingdom, you wrote a review on this last week?
I did.
Okay.
It's a romantic comedy, drama, suspense-ish movie.
Who's
But
in
the
it?
whole reason I got into watching it was because of the actors that are in it. It's got Bill Murray.
Yeah,
It's got Edward
nice.
Norton. It's got
That's awesome.
the bald guy and all the
it's
Die
all in the
Hards.
Wikipedia.
It's
Just
not
Bruce
saying.
Willis.
Bruce
Bruce
Willis.
Willis.
Here it is.
That's kind of awesome.
Yeah, cast. There he is.
How the
Yeah,
Wikipedia
Bruce Willis
works.
is in it. It's a great story. It's full of emotions, drama. It sets the whole theme
of feels.
by stating that the entire island is only known for one storm. The storm's going to be happening in 3 days from the start of the movie. So there's always the knowledge of the storm coming.
So is it
building
kind
up
of
on you.
apocalyptic or
Not really, but it's very suspenseful. It's just
pre-apocalypse?
it's not really an apocalypse. It's just a storm.
Right.
Yeah, but it's a real bad storm coming, and it's about 2 kids who run away into the forest on the island.
You know,
This
I
is
think
from
I
Wes Anderson?
read,
Yes.
My knowledge of Wes Anderson must be far more limited than I realize. Because
What are you thinking of?
I can't remember. I mean, the only one that's popping in my head right now is Fantastic Mr. Fox, but I know that's based off of a
Rushmore?
children's book. Yeah. Okay, that one. Yes. Seen that
The
one.
Aquatic Life of
Yeah.
Flippity
So.
Flap. I can't think of the rest of that.
Right. Yeah. So.
The Royal Tannenbaums.
I don't
Royal
typically
Tenenbaums,
like
yes.
independent movies, but this
Well,
was
I'm just saying
an
Wes
independent movie that I
Anderson.
absolutely loved, and yeah,
No, he wasn't. It was Bill Murray that was just in Lost in Translation. He wasn't. Wes Anderson didn't have a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
But no, like the storm and that just doesn't sound like a Wes Anderson movie to me. So I missed it. I'll have to check it out.
All right.
it's well worth watching.
Yeah. Did it come out this year?
Yes, it came out this year.
How did you
I'm
see
not
it?
exactly sure.
Please say
In
legally.
theaters?
Please say legally. Please say
I watched it
legally.
in the theater, the local
Hey.
independent theater.
Your house. All right. Well,
Anyway.
let's
Hey,
discuss
you know.
Dark Knight Rises. I don't think
Okay.
Dark Knight Rises is a horrible movie.
Oh, really? Your opinion has changed? has
No,
it?
I still stand by it was a horrible Batman movie.
Oh, okay.
But it wasn't a horrible movie. It was a pretty good Robin movie.
The more
definitely a good Robin.
the more I look back on it, the less it stands up to scrutiny.
So
I mean, I did in the theater. I did sit there and go, "Wait, he has 13 hours to save Gotham, and he drew a giant bat symbol in fire on a building."
But
Like,
that's
that-
Batman. He always wastes time doing
no, he doesn't.
dramatic,
Okay.
drawing things in the movies.
So
in
in
the
the
movies.
movies,
So-
he does.
So
Name one Batman movie where he doesn't waste time making a big flary bat symbol somewhere.
I don't think he did that in Dark Knight.
Okay, maybe the first two Nolan ones. He could be right about that. It's been a while since
Maybe.
I watched them, but anyway.
So one of the guys at work walks in last Friday, and goes, "I really liked it. I finally saw Dark Knight Rises. I really liked it." And I go, "So it didn't bother you that there was no Batman in the movie?" Well, So the
by-
voiceover didn't bother you. Well, it was all right.
So by lunchtime, he had changed.
Oh no,
his
this was at the
opinion.
end of the day.
Oh,
It took me
okay.
about 45 minutes to just go. So these were the problems. Yeah.
The only
Oh,
thing
because he decided not to be Batman until the very end of the movie.
Because
and was it not
because
a
the
Batman
name
movie?
is the name of the movie is Dark Knight Rises, which means it's a Batman movie, and Batman is in very very little of it, and the story focuses very hard on John Blake. John Blake. I'm gonna go John Blake.
John Blake.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's character.
Oh,
So the story
JGL.
revolves around him and all the stuff that him and Jim Gordon are doing.
Right.
Perfectly fine.
right.
Because for them, it was a perfectly good movie. Batman wasn't in it. And then we did watch it at home. Was that last week?
Yeah, it was last week, and you were wrong.
I was
Oh!
wrong about
Yes,
You
I
were
like this
wrong.
part. This is the
Stop.
best part.
You were wrong.
I don't know
About
if you're
what?
wrong. I don't know.
About okay, you know how you said he was flying out over there, and he said there's no autopilot or anything like that.
Right.
And then at the end of the movie,
He shows-
when
spoiler alert.
when Morgan Freeman goes back into, because I don't remember the guy's name,
Yeah.
goes
Lucius
back
Fox.
into there, all the tech guys are sitting there and like, oh yeah, this was fixed months ago. The software was updated by Bruce Wayne.
I still
Right.
think that's all a
So-
trick. I think Batman died in the explosion. and it's shown in the movie that he actually died in the explosion.
And Alfred's just having hallucination?
Exactly, because Alfred never told
Hold
him where it was. Well, how would he know where Alfred...
He did tell him
the cafe. He said the cafe was in Paris. How many cafes are in Paris?
Stop.
He's Batman, for God's sake. How's he not going to know?
That's your answer.
I'm having to agree with you.
Yes, he's a detective.
And it was in Monaco.
And he
died
said
in the explosion.
he went every year while Bruce Wayne was missing.
Yeah.
He goes every year.
Is it too much for Batman to pull credit card records?
Yeah, exactly. And it was technically it was Bruce Wayne's money that he was spending. So I'm sure Bruce Wayne had no problem getting Bruce Wayne's records.
I'm sorry. I still believe Batman died.
Okay.
No.
You know what? I can accept that.
We got off topic. I'm accused of being wrong. I've yet to hear.
I'm not sure
what my state. What did I say that was wrong?
Your statement was we were standing there, and you said there's no resolution at the end of the movie when he blows up. He dies in that explosion. When
I didn't know.
Yeah, you did.
That was me.
What I said was
bad resolution for Batman. Batman does not quit.
And then you said
no, he doesn't quit.
Because
he
flew out over the ocean. He didn't have an autopilot, so there was no time for that he could have ejected.
I believe if I misspoke, I apologize. I believe what I was saying was the way the film was edited together. It really made it look like there was no way for him to have gotten out of the plane.
Well, more importantly, I don't care how far off of the coast you take a bomb.
Yeah.
If you can see the explosion,
it's
too close.
There's a lot of blind people in
They said
Gotham
6
City.
miles.
6 miles?
Yeah, 6 miles.
6 miles.
Given the size of the bomb, maybe
Fallout.
Yeah, but the thing is,
that's what I was going to say. Batman's dead. If he didn't die in an explosion, he died of radiation.
If a nuclear bomb goes off 6 miles off the coast of Jersey, which is roughly where they place Gotham in this series,
or Chicago,
China, or Chicago. They filmed in Chicago, but on the map they placed it roughly near Jersey.
Yeah.
If a nuclear bomb goes off 6 miles off the Jersey coast, China and other countries who have nuclear bombs are going to go, "What the heck?" And
launch rockets.
World War III is going to start.
They've still got Superman to stop them. I mean, it is the DC world.
Clearly, that is what happened.
No, this is the Nolan world.
Yeah,
this is Earth Nolan.
Yes, this is Nolan.
In the New 52, this is the 52nd world. All right, so
I just wish he'd have shut his mouth once in a while. That really was a problem with me. Every time he was in the Batman costume,
he did talk a lot.
He never closed his mouth.
Did you see it in the theater?
Open. Yes, I did.
So you know how imposing Bane's voice was?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I had no problem.
So hold on. So in the theater, it was hard. It was a very rough thing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't so bad. We watched it here on I will admit a 1995 piece of junk TV. I admit that.
Bought in 1995.
I'm sitting here playing WoW with my headphones on, and these things cut out a lot.
The audio track
and he starts talking, and I'm like, "What the crap?" Because it was so
different.
If it was in the theater, 3/4 of the way up. This was 125%. I mean, it was just
track was so different.
And it was so jarring every time Bane talked.
But he's Bane. He's got to be jarring when he talks.
So did you guys see it in a regular theater?
I saw it on IMAX screen.
Okay,
I've seen it in a cheap
we saw
theater.
it on IMAX screen. The airplane part.
Spoiler alert.
Oh my gosh, it made me cry.
I
felt like I was falling.
Yeah, because we both leaned forward, and she leaned forward and started to cry because it was.
I had to gasp, and I sat back and I started crying.
We were at the Indiana State Museum, and it's IMAX, so you're all up like this, and you lean forward, and you're leaning down. And it was just, it scared the crap out of me. And well done, well shot.
There's a lot of, I was in a plane falling.
There's a lot of things about Dark Knight Rises that are good.
Oh yeah,
they do not combine together to make a good Batman movie.
I'm not going to be able to change your opinion.
And that's why your punishment will be more severe.
Hold on, I thought
Bane says that.
Oh, okay.
Bane says that.
I was like, I thought I was the only one.
Your punishment will be more severe, Gotham.
Yes.
I'm sorry. Your punishment will be more severe, Gotham. We amp that up
Anyway.
in post.
There's a thing. Oh crap! Now I'm forgetting the website. There's a YouTube. They do true trailers, I think is what it's called on YouTube, where they tell this. They don't spoil the movies, but they tell you. They recut the trailer and like talk about how it really goes. Hilarious, especially the Batman Dark Knight Rises.
True trailers.
Something like true trailers.
Oh, good. Because you've been so good with Castle.
Yes.
And Fandible.
Castilian and Fandible. Go check it out. Anyway.
All right. Let's move into The Hobbit.
Oh, okay.
Haven't seen it.
Haven't
read
seen
it. Haven't seen it.
Okay, so no spoilers.
Gotta be careful.
Yeah, I know.
One spoiler, because there's a sled with bunny rabbits.
No, is it a sled or a chariot?
Let me tell you.
It's a sled.
It's a sled.
Chariots have wheels.
Okay.
Sleds do not.
It's a
I was
sled.
just trying to get a clarification. That's all.
Let me
Imagine
just
a
tell
dog
you.
sledding team.
So what
a chariot would be
the
too
dogs,
far.
put on bunnies.
Sleds are fine.
What we're talking about, this has to go back to WoW. The best mount ever.
I'm serious. Like, this would be... I would pay money. I would pay $25, $30 for this mount. Of real people money.
You hear that? Wow. Get on
You
it.
want to make money, WoW? You release this. You could make it something I have to go quest for or go into some stupid dungeon
bunnies.
1,000 times.
But don't bother, because he'll pay real money for it.
Yeah, because WoW is hurting with their $15 a month with their 8 billion subscribers.
Anyway,
Well, if you'll pay money for it, so will at least 4 billion subscribers.
Technically, if the quest took 6 months, his $15 a month will cost more while he's trying to get it.
Good point.
Than it would if he just...
Who knows? You choose. But
they can make it a free-to-play model, but you have to pay each time you run the dungeon. $1.
don't give them any ideas.
So it's $1 each time you run the dungeon, and it's got like a 0.0001% drop rate. They're gonna make $1,000 off of me before I get this stupid thing, and I would run it every time.
Oh,
anyway,
The Hobbit. You wanna?
Because
I can gush.
Yeah, I mean, The Hobbit. I loved most of the movies that were released this summer because of the soundtracks.
I didn't do anything. Johnny's questioned me. I don't know.
It was like, what is that?
So soundtracks?
So because of the soundtracks, The Hobbit and Snow White and the Huntsman were two really great movies for me. I love medieval fantasy movies anyway.
You want bagpipes in The Hobbit?
No. They do a lot of acapella.
I'm ashamed. That's
Lord of the Rings. Okay, Lord of the Rings trilogy had a ton of bagpipes. I love bagpipe music.
Okay, so then you love Braveheart, right?
Yes.
Okay. So,
well, I love the music. Mel Gibson.
That was pre-crazy Mel Gibson.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
That was pre-crazy Mel Gibson.
But he's tainted it.
Crazy Mel Gibson's still a good actor. I don't care what he does in his personal life. If he makes good movies, I'll watch good movies.
He's like Waterworld.
Oh, sorry. If he's moving,
that's Kevin Costner.
That's Kevin Costner, and I love Waterworld.
Actually,
Waterworld is
pretty good too. I like
that.
I like it the same way I like Starship Troopers.
Yeah.
So The Hobbit, oh my gosh, amazing. The scenery's different. You're not walking for a million years.
Yeah,
and
that's
there's
one of the
actually
big
some great story behind it. I'm not saying that Lord of the Rings wasn't great story and you didn't get that out of it. You didn't get the great adventure. But there was a lot of contemplation in Lord of the Rings and a lot of moments where, there was a lot of time to think.
Well, and it was darker
Hobbit,
and heavier.
Yeah, a lot heavier, a lot darker. The Hobbit was lighter and you had more action and there were more moments where it was social and there wasn't all that contemplation.
It wasn't walk, action. It was walk, action, walk, action,
I think
walk,
you need to
action.
rewatch
Lord
of the Rings.
I did.
The thing is, I love Lord of the Rings. I can't say anything bad about Lord of the Rings because I like that type of movie. But The Hobbit...
I can say something bad about the Lord of the Rings.
Hold on.
There wasn't enough songs in it like in the animated series.
He's got a good point because I'm like... Oh, geez.
Win the battle,
I'm
lose
like
the war.
3 chapters into the Lord of the Rings books, and they've sung like 4 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That makes me sad.
And The Hobbit, the other thing The Hobbit has more
that
of
makes
that
me very
the Lord of
sad.
the Rings does not.
Dwarves?
Rube Goldberg devices.
I've heard this. I need to see it.
So a Rube Goldberg device is when, like, if I were to knock over some dominoes and they were to hit a ball and that ball were to slide down and scare a chicken and that chicken would drop it. Yes.
Yeah, Mousetrap. The game Mousetrap is
this thing has so many, like, there's a fight with the Goblin King, like all the fighting with the Goblin, and it's literally like they just tumble their way out. The whole way, like, this falls on this thing, and this falls on this thing, and they're getting away, and I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. It
so,
looks
like
visually...
like in the Mines of Moria, where the steps were collapsing and they were knocking it to an extreme.
Except it was faster,
right?
Yeah,
and there was way more going on.
Yeah,
okay,
and I'm not saying it's bad. I liked it. I liked the idea, and I think you said this maybe, but that the dwarves are all warriors, and individually they're kind of goofy and weird. Maybe it wasn't.
I remember specifically mentioning that.
But when they work together, they're a fighting machine, and it doesn't matter how the scenery is. They survive. That's what they do. That's why they're these 13 dwarves. And Thorin's country was destroyed 100 and some odd years ago. They survived because they were these guys, and this is what they do. So when they get away, we can accept that, and they do it in the most wacky way possible because that's what these dwarves are, just a little wacky. But you have to be a little wacky to go find a dragon that destroyed a whole nation. I mean, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, again, I haven't seen it, and I'm not passing judgment, but I've seen the trailer. Okay,
okay.
And what the thing I didn't like about the dwarves in Lord of the Rings, like 6 dwarves show up at the Council of Elrond.
Yeah, sure.
And they all looked not the same, but they all looked similar. They were guys with beards, who they digitally made shorter and stockier, whatever. In the trailer, there's a guy who looks perfectly normal until he's standing next to Gandalf, and then he's short. And then there's a guy whose head is like 8 miles across, even when he's standing next to Gandalf.
That's hair.
But it's,
I get that, but that is when you see them all as dwarves, they look fine, and most of the time they're not digitally shortening them because it's a hobbit and some dwarves.
Right.
They don't have to digitally shorten anything.
Yeah, they make Gandalf look bigger, but I'm just the design didn't look like a cohesive race of dwarves, and It is what it is.
Why does it always be about race, Johnny?
It's always about race. I don't know.
Yeah, but the thing is,
I
can see where you're coming from, but it also makes it. It also makes it like, okay, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. It makes it their personalities, like
I can accept that. I haven't seen it, and maybe once I get in,
there's a flow chart.
I've seen the flow chart.
Have you seen?
It's
awesome.
awesome.
How to determine? Have you seen this? It's. Does the dwarf have a beard shaped like a donut? If yes, this is the dwarf.
Yeah.
If no,
so you can learn the names.
It's really. It was fun. It was well acted. It was well directed. Yeah. There's an article that Scott Johnson put up on his Twitter today that you need to go read, explaining why this is 3 movies.
Yeah,
I
fully understand. I don't have a problem. I make fun of it.
I have you recorded
Why do you make
complaining
about
I make fun of it because it's a smaller book.
Somebody trying to pad their
than any of the trilogy.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that might have been an outtake, but
I have it recorded.
Yeah. No, that was a joke. I have no problem with them making it 3 movies if they do it right. And the next 2.
Radagast is really good.
Yeah.
A Sled with Bunnies.
If the content,
amazing.
The content is good and worthwhile, like apparently it is in the first one, I'm all for 3 movies.
And I've heard they've tossed in some Silmarillion.
Silmarillion. What is that?
It's the book
It's a very complicated book he wrote to fill plot holes.
Peter Jackson or
J.R. Tolkien.
Tolkien
wrote a bunch of short stories and snippets and songs.
And in history,
he wrote soon-to-be wife.
A lot of history.
They would write back and forth.
And it sounds sweet. If you ever try to read it, the first chapter will have you ripping your eyeballs out of their sockets.
My dad owned a copy of it, and unlike every other book where the spine was all curved because he'd read it,
this one was pristine.
This one was fine.
Really?
But yes, I fully intend to watch the movie. It looks like a great one.
I would recommend sitting down and approaching it as a book of short stories.
Yeah.
Rather than a novel.
So not sonnets or anything like
the
that?
The names are entire sentences long.
This is also where he developed the Elven language.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And that's not interesting to you guys?
I loved it.
Interesting.
No, I loved it.
Interesting, yes. Dry and potentially boring, yes.
So it's like reading physics.
Yeah.
It's like reading the 13th Warrior.
It's like reading fake physics.
I like the 13th Warrior.
Not the movie, the book.
I like the book too.
But the book is very dry and slow.
It is.
It
wasn't slow.
Why?
It
wasn't slow.
Are you sure you didn't read an adaptation of the movie?
I didn't.
Because I've heard nothing but complaints about
it. Well,
it.
I liked
I
the
read
book.
the book that was out after the movie came
it's
out.
like it had the little snippets on the side that talked about how almost made it look like it was a real book.
Yeah.
That's
a full
Crichton wrote a documentary as a book about this thing, and then turned it into an action movie, which was surprising. But
I liked it.
I'm not.
Crichton had very little to do. None of if you read any of Crichton's books,
small chunks.
Yeah, but if you read any of his books, he writes great books. He makes horrible movie adaptations.
Jurassic Park was not horrible.
No, but it's not the book either.
It's not the book, but it's not horrible.
Congo wasn't horrible, but it wasn't the book.
Congo was
crazy.
Kind of bad.
Yeah.
My opinion is the never.
Sorry.
Never try to compare a movie to a book that was written before the movie came out, because you're always going to be disappointed.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones was just horrible.
Aside from Lord of the Rings, I've not seen an adaptation that I liked.
Lord of the Rings isn't even a good adaptation.
Having
been through the first 3 chapters,
I liked it.
And the prelude, it is not the same.
No,
Merry and Pippin are not handled at all correctly in the introduction.
No, I agree. But again, I liked it. Whereas, Whereas I was told the Da Vinci Code with Tom Hanks was the best movie of the year when it came out, and blah blah blah. And I read the book. I was like, this book is exciting. I like it.
I read the book. Da Vinci Code is the only movie I've ever fallen asleep in the theater.
I read the book. I thought the book was amazing. Da Vinci Code movie, I was ready to kill myself. I was like, this is not
really disappointing.
They didn't even read the book.
They didn't. They read it.
Well, let's move forward. We've got Snow White and the Huntsman.
Did anybody else see it?
Never got around to seeing it.
No,
I don't know if that's the Snow White movie I've seen or not. There's like 6 Snow White movies last year.
Did it have Kristen Stewart in it with no ability to act?
And Thor.
Hold on.
I don't know.
Honestly,
was this the one with the creature that was the spoiler and the thing and the...
What?
No.
It was Charlize Theron. She was the evil queen.
Is this the one with the dwarf that was the same guy from that Western show that I really like?
Oh my god!
Possibly.
What's that Western show called?
Deadwood.
Deadwood, yes.
And that's Al Swearingen.
Al Swearingen, that's it. Was he the dwarf?
Played by Framistat.
Jeez, just rip off all.
Crap! I should know that.
Spoilers. Stuff.
Yes, he was in that as a dwarf.
Yes, I've seen that one, and that was the
He's
best
also
part of the movie.
the voice of the evil tiger in Kung Fu Panda.
No
was he
way!
Really? I didn't know that either.
That is awesome.
He's a really good
actor.
tiger.
That movie too.
He's a leopard.
He's a leopard. Fair
That's
enough.
another movie.
They're all the tiger.
Yeah.
I thought the tiger was a female. Let's think he is a good actor.
What? The tiger?
In Kung Fu Panda, it was played by Angelina Jolie.
Okay, so let's get back to Snow White and the Huntsman. So the movie and the trailer are not the same movie.
Really?
Oh my god! So the trailer, you guys saw the trailer.
I
it's
like
action
the trailer.
adventure, quick and fast, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that was 2 thumbs down by me because the trailer is quick and fast.
If you ever hear that,
yeah, if you were, that's 2 thumbs down. The trailer is this quick and fast, exciting adventure. The movie is not bad. It is not the trailer. It is slow. Right. They build story. Right. Kristen Stewart tries really hard to act.
She does a pretty damn good job.
And by damn good job, what she really means is she tries.
Good for her.
It doesn't work. But I mean, the story is well done. The dwarves are fun and kind of kooky, and the whole thing comes together really well. As Charlize Theron is just creepy and evil.
Yes.
Is this the one that at the end it breaks into a Bollywood dance?
No.
What? No.
What have you been watching?
What Snow White is that?
I think he's watching the crappy ripoff that they put on Netflix.
That's not Moulin Rouge?
No. There is a Snow White one. There were 2 Snow Whites.
What are you watching?
And it like breaks down into a Bollywood dance. I swear it is.
You
It's
have
horrible.
to look it up. I don't know what you're talking about. So anyway,
okay, yeah. So it's really good, and I suggest it's slow. It's slower. It doesn't make it bad. It's just not the action adventure. There are points of action adventure, but they are sparse.
And what I told people is that if you go for the story, for the interpretative story of what someone viewed it as from, I think it's more from the huntsman's point of view.
Yeah, it's more
so
about
much so that they're making a Huntsman movie and throwing Snow White to the curb.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And Shirley
I'll go see Thor any day. I mean,
does a really
Chris,
good.
What's his
Chris
face?
Hemsworth.
Shirley Theron does a really good job.
Yes, she is amazing.
There's this point where she comes out of this puddle of black and she's covered in this like tar.
I think that was in the trailer for a second.
It's just it's really good.
Yeah.
Oh.
So.
She does a really good
all right,
job.
so that was
another amazing soundtrack.
That was
I downloaded it on iTunes.
Only thing I remember is Sweargin.
Okay, that was last year.
Mirror, Mirror. Mirror, Mirror is the other Snow
Yeah,
White
we haven't
movie.
watched that.
Yeah, it ends in a Bollywood dance. It's freaky. It's stupid.
Okay, so moving on to this year,
Roberts.
we're going to move on now to this year because we're running 220.
Good Lord.
So yeah, so
you like editing,
we're going to go through. We're going to go through these upcoming movies real quick. You can catch all of these on YouTube.
What?
Yes, you can catch
all the trailers
all
all at once.
Oh.
Sorry, you can catch trailers for all these on YouTube.
Yeah.
After Earth is Will Smith and his son. They get stranded on this crazy jungle planet. Oh no, it's Earth. They kind of leave that legend of that trailer in the trailer. It looks really good. It looks like it's going to be well acted. Will Smith, I like.
It has Earth in the title.
Yeah, I know.
Are there evil carnivorous aliens on the Earth?
There are evil carnivorous animals. I'm not sure if they're aliens.
So they may be mutated future aliens.
Yeah. It's a really powerful trailer. I liked it.
I haven't seen the trailer yet.
I haven't either.
Oblivion, oh my gosh, this looks amazing. I'm not going to say another War of the Worlds type movie, but it looks like...
Keep going.
What?
I don't remember War of the Worlds in that trailer at all.
No,
everything's
I said type.
decimated.
Type.
Okay, keep going.
Oblivion. So is this based on the Morrowind game or
no?
What? Oh, I have no idea what that is. But
we'll talk off air.
But it looks like it's gonna have not a lot of action. It looks like there's gonna be some deep story in it to where he starts remembering the past and the way it was, and it looks like maybe
Tom Cruise's character.
Yeah, Tom Cruise in what looks like a good Tom Cruise movie instead of what has happened over the last few years.
I like, oddly enough, most Tom Cruise movies. I haven't seen Mr. Fister or whatever it's called, but...
You mean the one that's currently in theaters?
Yes.
Jack Preacher or
Jack
something?
Preacher. No, Jack Reacher.
Reacher.
What the holy living?
I've not heard really anything good about Jack
I haven't
Reacher.
either.
Okay,
I've heard good things that it's just not getting in the audience.
Oblivion. That's Oblivion.
Yeah.
A friend of mine told me it was they kind of ripped off one of the later Tron books, but I don't know if that's true.
It's the Tron direct. It's the same guy that did the Tron directing. There are some aspects of his directing that are carried over.
Well,
but
they're Tron books.
It's
no, not a direct port, but there are books about Tron. Eventually, the things in the computers come to the real world, and they advance technology. Then humans wipe themselves out, and all this crazy stuff happens. And somebody told me that the Oblivion movie has plot elements taken from later Tron books. I don't know if it's true.
That's like saying Lord of the Rings has plot elements taken from Star Wars, the movie.
Yeah, probably.
So Man of Steel is also coming out, which is brand new reboot and will be the beginning of the JLA movie franchise thing.
Yep.
So what world is this?
This is the new
I
DC
don't know if
universe.
it's the new 52 or not.
I'm not going to go with I wasn't going to say new 52. It's just the new connected DC universe.
So Man of Steel would be the Superman movie.
Right.
JLA comes out in 2015. This one comes out in 2013. I'm betting they're going to shoot for another movie between now and then.
They might do Batman again, but
I doubt it.
I hope they do Robin.
I think that we'll see like an Aquaman or a Flash.
There's been a lot of rumors around on the internet that Gordon Levitt's in the running to play the new Batman. So it might be...
His voice isn't nearly as gravelly enough.
I've actually heard opposite rumors in that he is out of the running.
Is he?
That's the rumors I've heard. I don't know.
That's a shame.
Well,
anyway,
we're gonna
look for that. Zod is rehashed. I'm not thrilled with the one with the quote from Kevin Costner in the trailer, where he advocates that Clark should not have saved lives.
I think that you're
I'm willing. I mean,
trailer.
Again, as long as there's more to that, and there's more to it that they just put in the trailer. I'm
it
with
looks
it.
like
But he's like, no, maybe you shouldn't have killed. Maybe you should have let some people die.
Yeah.
So
Not
okay.
Superman.
So Oz the Great and Powerful.
Yeah.
That's you. We're moving along.
Yeah.
Because I got
to rush.
Well, we're at 2 hours.
Mr. I don't like to edit over here. Try to get us to
me
move along.
looks like the most anticipated movie of 2013 that I want to see. It's based on the books before the it's based on the 1900 novel from
Bonham.
Bonham. But it's placed before the book. The events of what happened before the book. So actually Raimi is, doing a lot of, I would say, makeup. The only thing that I found...
Raimi?
Yeah, Sam
Cool.
Raimi. The only thing that I found really weird about it, and that's kind of putting me off, is I saw that Zach Braff, the guy from Scrubs, is playing one of the characters, and when I think of Zach, I think of all his comical things that he's done, like in Scrubs, and then he was in something else really hilarious, and I can't see him like in a serious role. And all the trailers that I've seen have been like really powerful and like action and.
I don't know action, but we should let you borrow The Last Kiss. It's a really good movie.
Okay.
Which. I kind of don't like parts of it because it's about him having like a crisis as he and his wife are approaching having kids and settling down and not being the young hipsters that they are at the beginning of the movie, and he ends up cheating on his wife, which always bothers me. But it's a good dramatic movie that really turned it around for me from his Scrubs days. Yeah. So you should watch that.
Scrubs is rather dramatic at times too.
At times.
Oh my
gosh.
But overall, I can't get into it. Like I just don't
what's
get
wrong
the
with
humor.
You?
I don't get the humor. I don't get that type of humor.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's Great and Powerful Oz.
Okay, so World War Z?
World War Z. I am looking forward to watching this train wreck of a movie. After watching the trailers, I know everybody says don't judge movies by their trailers.
Yeah,
this is going to be very, very disappointing. The zombies run. That means 90% of the battles are not going to be possible, which is what I was looking forward to see. The whole Battle of Yonkers, there's no way to do that. Pull that off with fast zombies. There's no way to do the Battle of the Last Hope.
I still haven't gotten around to reading the book, so I don't know what you're...
Yeah, they're big battle names. I'm not spoiling anything there.
Well, no,
it happened. But it doesn't even look like it's done in the same style, which is after the zombie apocalypse.
Oh, it could still be told in flashback.
It could be.
But if they narrated the thing...
But they're fast zombies. I'm tired of fast zombies. They don't need to make fast zombies to be threatening.
They did Dawn of the Dead and 28 Days Later, which technically those weren't zombies. They were
28 Days Later was a good one. Yeah, I don't mind them being fast because they're not the traditional zombie. But The Walking Dead is proof that you don't have to run to be terrifying. And I'll admit, they probably started this before that came out.
But Walking Dead has a mix of fast and slow zombies.
They do.
But, yeah.
And I don't mind that. It's just... This doesn't look like it's going to be the book at all. And I know they never are. I would have probably really enjoyed this movie if it was called something else like Super Zombie Fest or something.
Super Zombie Fest.
I'd still go see that, yes.
But yeah, they've just made the movie I want to see not possible.
Is Brad Pitt starring in that?
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm still going to watch it.
So World War Z, Brad Pitt's in it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Not sure what he's playing yet.
Yeah, I think he's the narrator. I'm pretty sure he's the narrator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say, he was in 12 Monkeys, and his character was like,
that
was funny.
That was really good.
Well,
that was years
funny,
ago.
But
I liked him in Troy. I've liked him in just about everything he's been in.
Troy was awesome.
So I will still watch the movie. I'll probably enjoy it, but I won't because of the title. And if they had just named it something else, I wouldn't have had a problem with it.
Again, translating books into film just doesn't work.
I think you should give it a chance.
I
think
will.
you should wait until it comes out. I think like Snow White and the Huntsman, I don't think that the trailer is going to match what the movie actually is.
Yeah.
So. Well, I'm sick of Hollywood telling me the entire story in the trailer. I mean, in Man of Steel, I know it's about Superman growing up and Zod attacks. It's Superman. He's going to win. But
I think it's also taking an aspect of him being a man.
Yeah, it is,
and dealing with that human
growing into Superman. I'm fine with that. It's just I didn't need to know Zod was in the movie. I didn't know Thanos was in Avengers.
Yeah, Thanos was in Avengers at the very end after the credits.
Right, which you spoiled for me, by the way. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thanos is in the Avengers?
Oh my God!
Who's Thanos?
Who's Thanos?
The purple guy that turns around with...
We gotta...
Yeah, so we'll move past that.
Yeah, we'll just do that off there.
He's purple.
Purple.
So that kind of wraps up movies. Sort of. I'm sure we could talk about movies for a little longer.
Oh, we could... Gaming, movies, whatever.
We're going to move into what has become our weekend special. Kind of a little bit of everything else. So you've heard that Shirley got a Kindle Fire.
Yeah, Kindle.
I have a Kindle, which I'm still really happy with, and I use every day.
Yeah.
I can't say enough about Kindles. I think they're amazing. I understand.
Justin, what do you think? You've been sitting there for
yeah, you've had it.
It's interesting. I like the 7-inch-ness of it. I like the smallness. But I can't help it. Mine's just too large. I like having something small in my head for a change.
So, I really
could accommodate.
I really like
your
it.
Size issue.
My mom got one for Christmas from all the kids, and I think that it's a great tablet for people who want to have fun but aren't looking for a lot more. I know that the iPad and a lot of like the Nexus 7 and other Android tablets offer a lot of productivity and higher end stuff like 123D sculpt that I don't think the Kindle Fire can do. The processor's a little slow, but it plays movies really well.
Right.
Amazon Prime stuff, the Amazon Prime movies work really fast. I watched Goonies, which was awesome. The speakers on it are amazing. They play better than the TV speakers that Payne scared the crap out of me on.
And the thing is, it sounds like true Dolby stereo.
Yeah, well, that's because they're Dolby speakers.
Well, I know.
It's a really, really good tablet for your lower end easy user, not someone that's going to want a lot of extras.
That's it. I'm looking at this thing. The only thing I really liked the display on the original Kindle, the paper display or whatever.
Yeah. Right. The problem is that technology does not work with anything else other than the way it does.
Yeah, you can't backlight it and surf the net.
Because you understand how that works, right?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, and for our listeners, in case you don't, they take tiny little pebbles and electrify them to the image of the words, and then when you turn the page, it unelectrifies those and re-electrifies them in new images. So you can't
surf the net.
You can't do anything that requires any kind of movement whatsoever.
No, but the battery life is so much larger.
Oh yeah,
my first e-reader was
and by so much longer. I don't think I've charged my Kindle Fire in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And it only really loses its battery charge when I turn on the Wi-Fi. My Kindle. And it only really loses battery charge when I turn on Wi-Fi, because then it's searching for a Wi-Fi signal. If I leave Wi-Fi off, I can go a month and a half.
Well, you let me borrow it for 2 weeks, and I never charged it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's I read every single day for at least half an hour. So it's really done really well, and I really, really like everything that they put out for Kindle.
Yeah. And the processor on there, I mean, I'm not sure, but it has Office Suite on it in some form. It has
some sort of Office Suite,
yeah. So, I mean, the productivity is there. You can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it's just not... The Fire, I just don't think is built for the high-end computing stuff. Some of the stuff that your iOS, like an iPad or an iPad Mini, would be able to
Well, what's the price tag comparison?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, your iPad's going to be $499, your iPad Mini's $329. Kindle Fire HD for the 7-inch screen is $199.
Yeah.
You can get an 8 almost 9-inch screen for $300, I think. So it's the only problem I found is that holding it while watching movies is lame. We need a stand of some sort or a holder, because you have to hold it like this, and then an hour and a half later it's tiring.
Be careful.
Oh, you mean watching movies on the...
On the Kindle Fire.
Okay.
Yeah.
The kind of thing I got from my iPad flips out at an odd angle. So when I'm laying on my back watching a movie...
We're going to get something that grips at the corners.
Yeah. That's a smart way to do it. Because this, I have literally bloodied my nose because it has fallen onto my face and hit me.
I wish I had video.
Which, if it was a 7-inch tablet instead of a 10-inch tablet, that might not have happened.
Wow.
Yeah, it was an interesting night. Interesting words.
So let's move on to. Looks like Johnny has some notes here about the next Netflix Disney deal and then the Disney Lucasfilm deal.
Sure, yeah. So this was a big deal for me and my 4-year-old when Disney made an exclusive.
We'll just be honest. It was mostly a big deal for Johnny.
Yes.
Who really, really likes his Phineas and Ferb.
I do.
Hey, Phineas and Ferb is awesome.
So yes, Disney signed some exclusive rights over to Netflix, where for a long time now, or for the foreseeable future, their movies are going to go direct to Netflix. They won't be available on Redbox or HBO or
this
Showtime.
Is more of like the first run stuff at HBO and Showtime and that kind of stuff.
So in theory, if I've read everything correctly, the next Pixar movie to come out of theaters won't go to Redbox, won't go to HBO, won't go to the Disney Channel necessarily. It'll go to Netflix and be available via your Netflix account, and all of their catalog is available. I don't know how they're going to handle the vault stuff.
Well, they've put up some of the vault stuff. Great Mouse Detective is up.
Okay,
Tigger
but
movie.
they always release things from the vault and then put them back in the vault.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
Well, I think they're going to do the same thing here.
Yeah, cycle stuff out is what I'm saying. I don't know.
I forgot how good Great Mouse Detective was.
But is the new stuff going to be streaming, or is it going to be straight to DVD mail?
Well, again, I don't know about everything.
Some stuff already has distribution deals. Like anything Star Wars is likely to have a problem. Yeah. Because Lucasfilm signed a big distribution deal with Fox back in the day, and they kind of followed along that for a long time. So that's a little iffy. But with most Disney stuff, like what's the new one coming out? Ice or Snow or
Frozen?
Frozen. Yeah. That one will probably hit the theater, and then would go to HBO or Cinemax or Showtime. It will go straight to here, and it will probably be available in Redbox when it's available at like Blockbuster. Yeah. But that's usually 2, 3, 4 weeks later after it's available at normally.
Yeah, and I can't say everything will go straight to streaming, but a lot of it is intended to go to streaming.
That's good.
It is.
And this was kind of a big deal because Starz was a big thing on Netflix for a while, and they pulled all their stuff.
Yeah,
and hurt. Disney had a deal with Starz, and that deal is gone, and now Disney has a deal directly with Netflix. So that's kind of a nice thing. And they put older movies on. The Muppet movies available for streaming now.
Oh, really? And the new Muppet movie?
No, the old one. The old good Muppet movie.
And right now, that's the only Muppet movie that's currently... But it's also the only Muppet movie that's currently in print in the stores.
Yeah.
The Great Muppet Caper and all those other ones are not available. I hope they get
Muppet Treasure Island again.
I have that movie.
Do you?
It's good.
Yeah,
I need to see it again. I absolutely love it. It's one of my favorite ones.
Anyway, so then... The other great thing about Netflix, they announced their first series is coming out. Kevin Spacey is starring in it. I don't know anything about it.
What,
but it
first series?
Their first Netflix.
Because Arrested Development should be out early this year.
Not that one. I don't know how that's going because Sarah and
they've already filmed.
Oh, have they?
Yeah, that was my understanding.
That's what I know Michael Cera or whatever isn't involved, and I don't know. Anyway, they announced Kevin Spacey starring in their first premiere Netflix series.
Okay.
On the Disney front, the big news was Disney bought LucasArts. They now own Star Wars and Indiana Jones and all that other stuff that George Lucas created.
Film rights to Howard the Duck.
Yay!
Which is ironic because they also own comic book rights. They own all of Howard the Duck. I believe, that was what the $4 billion was for, was Howard the Duck.
Yeah.
I don't understand why you guys like that.
I don't understand how you didn't.
Awesome.
That was the scariest thing ever.
It was.
Because when that movie came out, I was 6.
Pennywise.
6. Oh, shut up.
Now I gotta say the name that he goes on edge. Wow.
I was 6 when that movie came out, and that was the awesomest thing ever.
And there were duck boobs.
There was nudity that your parents didn't go, you can't look at that, because it's a duck.
Anyway.
So,
So duck boobs.
But I personally hope they bring back
guys...
the old Lucasfilm games, like Day of the Tentacle and things like that.
Yeah.
On iOS and stuff.
Like all that old stuff.
Yeah,
that would be good.
It'd be perfect for phones and tablets and things. I don't know why they're not making more
Escape from Monkey
games.
Island.
Yeah.
Loom. Do you ever play Loom?
Loom?
I remember Loom.
Loom was so good. It was good.
So Day of the Tentacle was the first thing I had ever seen tentacles in, and I've fallen in love with tentacles ever since.
Wow.
Moving on!
Okay,
More
so
than we needed to
the
know.
final point about the Disney thing, what excites me about this is that Disney has said they are leaving Lucas alone. LucasArts alone. LucasArts knows what they're doing, and they're just going to let them keep doing it.
Well, and they're going to leave them alone like they left Marvel alone. They're going to point them in the right direction and go, figure it out. You got this. And if there's any huge problems, they'll correct it. But
I have a feeling LucasArts doesn't need that much direction.
Yeah, yes, they do. They need to point them in the right direction by smacking George Lucas off of the films.
Yes.
And then let them go.
They obviously need direction, or you haven't seen the first 3 movies.
I'm sorry. What? I've seen
three,
New Hope, Empire Strike Back.
The last 3 movies. Whatever.
I've seen A New Hope, Empire
1.
Strike Back, and Return of the Jedi. Okay.
Yes, okay. Anyway.
Yeah, well, we can have a whole conversation about those movies another time. So, that's going to be kind of nice. Because Iron Man and Incredible Hulk were Marvel-only things.
Yep.
And then they
did great with them.
And they did great with those, and they left them alone for Iron Man 2 and Captain America and Thor. And those all came out pretty dang well. I think Disney had a little more to do with Avengers, but I think they had a producer on site that kind of helped out and just made sure everything was on track. But Avengers came out great, and honestly, if that's them meddling and we get something like the Avengers, I'm metal away.
Well,
yeah. So, all right, and I want to talk about major spoilers.
You do.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about them enough tonight?
No, not really. So, Major Spoilers is a comic book website.
I think he has a secret crush on Rodrigo.
Secret?
No, Rodrigo, according to John, is me.
Yeah.
If I were Mexican.
He did that video he did that video Munchkin Minute, and it took, I did for a second, I go, what the hell? Oh, that's...
Oh, it's Rodrigo.
So, Major Spoilers is a site I check, is the only site, besides my email, that I check daily. I guess our site I check daily too. I would hope that I check that daily.
Yeah.
Major Spoilers is the only site I don't pay for today, currently, that I check daily. I'm always on there looking at their stuff. They post all kinds of stuff. They've got 5 podcasts,
Munchkinland, Week Podcast, Critical Hit, Weekend Podcast,
Top
5, which isn't weekly, but
it's every other, and then Dueling Reviews. They just started. So 6. So they've got 6 podcasts every week. 6 podcasts on a regular basis. They're really, really good. I've met 3 of the writers. They're really cool. Yeah, and we're going to be heading out to Nerdtacular. I think a big reason we're heading out to Nerdtacular is to meet up with the Major Spoilers guys. And if you're not familiar with Nerdtacular, look up nerdtacular.com.
It's put on by Frog Pants Network.
It's a Frog Pants thing, and it's really just a bunch of nerds that enjoy the stuff that's on Frog Pants getting together out in Utah.
My Extra Life.
That's his comic.
Yeah,
that's Scott Johnson's comic.
Life.
It should be a lot of fun, but Major Spoilers is just a lot. Is really good. Them and Scott Johnson are the 2 things that go on my iPod or on my iPhone every day to listen to. Like, I check for those specifically. Everything else I can kind of wait on. So that was kind of this past year. So for next year, Justin, what's this YouTube video?
YouTube video? Oh, that's Tabletop. Yeah, I want to talk about
Tabletop. Okay.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier.
Okay, that's fine.
I really enjoy it. It's a video blog, podcast sort of a thing with Will Wheaton as the host. Videocast. That's the word I'm looking for. Thank you.
That's not branded yet.
And this is part of the Geek and Sundry channel.
Yes.
YouTube channel. So
they play
Guild on Geek and Sundry?
Guild is on Geek and Sundry, so is Sword and Laser Videocast. It's called a Videocast.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Flog.
The what?
Flog.
It's a new thing that Felicia Day is doing.
So is Hellboy comics.
Yeah.
You mean...
They're on a video cast. I don't know. I've never watched them. I just get an email.
Okay.
I subscribed to Geek and Sundry, and I get an email whenever they put up something new.
Yeah.
And I don't watch it because I get behind.
Yeah.
I like everything. I like the guild, but I have to wait for a full season to be done. Otherwise, it's fine because they're like 5-minute bits, and it's not great. Tabletop, I like, but they have episodes that are not great.
They do.
I think they speed up too much.
Well,
like,
I mean,
they skip a lot of the stuff.
I get part of that is you want to get a half-hour show or whatever, but they explain like 4 things, and having played these games, I know how they get played.
Yeah.
They miss some important stuff, and they fly through the rest of it. And I'm just like,
I've already watched.
A new player, then
I've already watched the first episode of season 2, and it seems like they're already doing a better job of watching that.
Oh, okay.
The one thing I don't like is he uses a whole lot of house rules, and he never states that those are house rules when he starts. None of the games are played by the rules. So it is not the way to learn how to play a game. It's a way to learn if you want to play a game.
Yeah.
But he doesn't follow.
Yeah, I mean, Munchkin was run pretty straight on.
Well,
he
Steve
had the
Jackson
creator
was on.
there.
Steve Jackson was at the table.
There. Fair enough.
It's
But I
hard
do
not-
like
hard
that
to
they
screw
have
that up.
like D-list celebrities come and sit down at the table. That's
D-list celebrities.
honestly, they're D-list.
What does that mean?
They're not mainstream.
Low-grade
Yeah, not low grade even. Just not well known.
Yeah.
Okay, yes.
Will Wheaton's at best a C-grade celebrity.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't like the grading celebrities system because I like I mean the only they don't always introduce their players well. Like I don't always get what somebody is doing. Like I mean, if they just said, "Oh, I'm a buddy of Will Wheaton's, and that's why I'm on the show," I'd be like, "Okay, fine." But
they now also have an extended interview with each person.
Do they?
That goes a little bit more
I've
into
missed
that.
those,
Yeah.
so-
They're separate episodes though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And it's about a 5-minute interview with each person.
And you have to grade celebrities because Kim Kardashian is not the same as Kevin Costner. And by that I mean Kevin Costner is like 18 levels above wherever Kim Kardashian could ever be. Because, he produces things that aren't reality TV or
she's
porn
a producer.
videos. I'm sorry. For those of you at home who can't see it, I'm glaring now. All right,
that will work on a sound effect. For
Yeah.
And that moves us into...
I am going to start
something that I'm going to stay
new.
completely removed from this conversation. So that away.
A couple of years ago, I was watching a show called Good Eats with Alton Brown.
Oh my gosh.
Where he showed me how to take a cardboard box and use it to smoke a pork butt and get a good barbecue. Guys, come on. We're adults here. It is kind of funny.
I was having a hard time with smoked meat being on the thing.
But
And
he
now
showed me
smoking
how to
butts.
take a cardboard box and make a smoker, which smokers typically are expensive in the $100 to
So how long does
Yeah.
the box last?
You only need it the one time, or you can use it more often as long as you don't burn it. Which he did say is an option. You can actually burn it on accident. But from that, I learned how to do that. I have in my Google Doc Drive thing, I have a recipe for smoking pork butt that I'm going to try and figure out and do and review for the site.
Yay!
I'm going to smoke pork butt for the site. And I'm probably going to go over to John's to do it because he has a patio that isn't enclosed over top, which is probably a bad idea, like
You're
mine
smoking
is.
pork butt on John's patio?
Yeah. While his daughter, while his
the neighbors-
4-year-old daughter
yeah.
watches. Yeah, it'd be fun.
Oh my god.
How is this not okay? I don't understand.
All
So
right, well, good luck with that.
there's going to be that. I mean, I'm going to try and do some, not necessarily recipes, but grilling techniques and ideas because I'm told that I do good food when I really put my mind to
Oh
it.
my gosh.
You can come over and cook on my patio as long as I get to eat some of it.
So it looks like
We need to do a good
Looks like I'll be
brisket.
doing that at home. Briskets are really, really tough, and I don't have that skill yet. But, so I'm going to be looking at cooking and smoking meat and pork butt. Yay, pork butt. And kind of to wrap everything up, John wanted to talk about...
Yeah.
John wanted to talk about something he wants to get together.
Yes, I'm planning to launch a webcomic this year. It's my New Year's goal, I suppose you could say, is that I want to actually produce something Mainly just so I get mad off my butt about producing something.
I'm just saying if you would write reviews on time.
Yes.
Or,
and maybe if your butt wasn't so pork-like, I wouldn't be worried about it.
Supposed to be drawn.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I need to get in the habit of producing. I'm not producing. So, keep checking the site for updates on that.
That'll be at www.johnnyfinallydrewsomething.com.
No.
I'm buying that.
You're buying that?
I'm buying that.
Yeah. I don't know. We've talked about a few ideas.
I'm still waiting for a submission.
I'm leaning heavily towards that one I showed you last time I was over. But
let's not spoil
we're
it
not
for the
going to talk
listeners.
about it right now. So.
Okay.
All right. Well, that kind of wraps us up. And since you guys have struggled with us through the last 2 hours and 50 minutes or so.
Seriously? Oh,
yeah.
Jesus.
I wanted to say thank you guys, everybody, for listening. This is really our first outing. I understand the sound quality is probably not where I would like it. We're going to improve that. I don't know how often we're going to record stuff, but it should be every so often. I know we plan on coming up with a play podcast. It'll be once a week. We'll probably switch back and forth between board games and role-playing games and try a little bit of everything out. Beyond that, we have some other ideas for some podcasts. I don't want to reveal too much too soon because of all the thousands of billions of people that will clearly listen to this as soon as I post it. I don't want to give away too many of our secrets. But I really wanted to say thank you for listening to our first podcast, and from all of us here at Nerds Domain, that's me.
Peace out, Shirley.
And sure.
Peace out, Shirley.
Let's not throw gang signs.
John.
It's a peace sign.
And me.
Your name is Jestin.
Jestin. You didn't say your name.
I'm Matt. I'm Matt.
See, he
I'm
said
Matt.
me. He got away with me. Why did he get away with me?
I wanted to say thank you, and hopefully we'll have something new up for you soon.